Hello and welcome. This is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's a house!
Did you hear what I said?
Huh? It's a house!
Did you hear what I said? You know, that's just one step above stupid. 5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
Yo. What's going on, freaks? How's it going? Yeah, anyways, thought I'd start off with there's a missing person named Zoe Jimenez right there. Could be a crappy situation. Let me get to the... There isn't really a lot of information, but thought I'd throw it out there. If I can find it. Oh, there it is. Huh. I think this is right. Not sure why it's in this other folder though. Weird. Huh. Look at that. It's in this other folder way up there. Not sure how that happened. Jeez. Alright, hold on. I guess I could just... I guess I have to do... it doesn't let you do them all at the same time. Huh. Well, I guess I could... try dragging it down up for about 20 minutes. Hold on. Hey, I'll give you guys time to say all your hellos. Oh, we just got rid of the middle thing for today. But they are sitting there. There they are. You can see them more. They usually have a divider because they growl at each other. They sure love each other, though, I'll tell you. They always watch what the other one's doing. And so I thought we'd review one of Ashleigh Banfield's latest shows too. Let's see, put it right there. There we go. That looks like it went below it though, not in it. There we go. Alright, so all there is on this one... Oh, she was found safe. Okay. Just now. I mean, it was like 10 minutes ago that wasn't there. So we don't have to do it. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office said on Sunday that the teen girl has been found safe. She was missing and You know, they had this surveillance shot of her walking right here, leaving the house. She didn't go to school, and she actually takes her own, you know, there was a possibility she could take her own life. And, you know, I guess we don't have to cover it, but, you know, like I actually found this house here because it goes right here. And you see that, a little curve in the right there, and then this little manhole right there. So that's what is in this picture. There's the manhole over there, and here's the curve and the sawdust. They only gave like a general address. They didn't say where it was. And then apparently she didn't go to the school that was right down here, and she, you know, was troubled. So they were nervous about her, but apparently just before the show here, they found her, so that's good. So I guess I didn't really need to do that. But hey, guys, you know, today's another show, just like every other show, so if you could help support the channel, that'd be great. We're currently at 0,000 all the way across the board, and we're just almost hitting the halfway point. But I was going to say, you know that one website that we use? This one right here, they're actually, it's called Project Cold Case. So how about if you guys if we can get to 400 on the show, I'll donate 500 to Project Cold Case. How does that sound? Yeah, we haven't donated to these guys, but I think it's a really worthy place. They get the word out on many people. A lot of different YouTube creators out there use this site. So that'd be great if you guys could do that. Hello? I don't really understand. You guys are still saying hello. Do you guys want to do this right here? Give it a shot. Can we not do the hello, keep going and going and going with hellos for 45 minutes? We've already been on here for 8 minutes. So can we do that? But what we're trying to do is get to, if we can get to, you know, I'd say if we can get over 350, we'll donate 500 to this website right here. And that would mean the channel would only bring in 200 and something, so I'd be still make 200 out of the income. 200 or so, who knows? Hello, 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 hello. I'm tired of hello, 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 I'm tired of. Hey, thanks Cheryl Bullock and Anne Marie. All right, don't all get started at once. All right, so we don't need to do that. There was this other. Yeah, interesting. Well, they're really short stories here, but there's this 11-year-old boy is accused of killing his 5-year-old brother in his first-degree murder. You know, an 11-year-old Colorado boy is facing first-degree murder charge in the death of his 5-year-old brother, a stunning and highly unusual case that legal experts say is almost unheard of. But he can't be charged as an adult. So, man, that's spooky. Because this is one of those things where you put him in a place and he might get out, and I mean, who the hell does that? Thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. Authorities in Arapahoe County say deputies responded Tuesday evening to a report of a child's death at a home in Centennial. When they arrived, they found 5-year-old boy dead. By Wednesday, investigators had identified the child's 11-year-old brother as the suspect and announced the case was being investigated as a homicide. The cause of death has not yet been released. The juvenile suspect is being held at the Marvin W. Foote Youth Service Center in Centennial. I mean, that's just crazy. What the hell's going on, by the way? Yeah. There's another one, too. The alleged bullying attack leaves 12-year-old girl dead after defending sister, the mom says. So this girl right here, her name is Kimberly Zavaleta. There's a video out there. They don't really show much, but her sister apparently is like sort of fighting with somebody, and then somebody came up with a metal water bottle and just smashed it into this girl's head, and she's just died. I mean, I don't know what the hell's happening. I mean, it's just sick, you know? It's really sad story. That's her right there. She just went up to try to help her sister, and she was just walking, and then somebody smashed her in the head with a metal water bottle. I hope they charge that person with murder as well. But it's just, they're young, Gray. That's what kids do. How can we? Ah, shit. Forget it, man. All right, did you guys hear what I said up there? I said, hey, if we get to 350, we'll donate $500 to Project Cold Case here, all right? It only happens if you guys are helping support the channel, and we're currently not even close. We're at like $10. So if you guys have the ability to do that, that would be great. Thank you. $10.99. All right, so what we're going to do now is Ashleigh Banfield did an interview, or yeah, not an interview, made her video the other day, and I just wanted to play it, and then we can kind of discuss what's happening in there. Thank you, Tucson Girl. Or Tuscan. Tuscan Girl. All right, Tucson. Well, it's only one letter off. It's pretty close. I wonder why it's not Tucson. Tussin, or Tucson Girl. Yeah. It doesn't say Tucson. It says Tuscan. Oh, it does say Tucson. It does say Tucson. Who's the one that... Where's the other one that said Tuscan? I just saw that too, or did my brain just fill that in? No. Oh, wait. It is Tucson. Hey, did get it right, man. I'm not as crazy as I thought. It is Tucson. Where did I just read that, though? It said T-U-S-C... Huh. Maybe I just made that up in my brain. But hey, guys, we're trying to reach 350 tonight. So if you're out there, if you could please help support the channel, help us get to that, that'd be great. We're going to donate $500 to the Project Cold Case if we get there. We're currently, this is the middle day of, midway through the month, the 15th. All right, anyways, let's switch over to here, go to... Now, so we'll just listen to it. I mean, this is, you've seen it. The link's in the description, and her channel, she's just sitting here talking, all right? So we'll just listen to the audio.
What we could learn with the sheriff basically not telling us anything and giving no updates and certainly no news conferences for, 4 weeks. There was very little to report other than sort of insignificant things, the comings and goings, cars here, cars there, but nothing that was really, that would warrant, a full episode. But then all of a sudden, this week, there's been a bunch of stuff. Weird, interesting, and then one big kahuna of a thing. So I wanted to get you up to speed on everything that's happened in the last few days. But then I want to tell you very significantly
I don't know, Alex.
two things that I've put together
It's not looking good.
with regard to what the sheriff said early in the investigation, like day 2, and what the sheriff said this week, because they are 100% different, which tells me either he doesn't know what he said before, or he's lying. I don't know.
He does that a lot, where he doesn't remember what he said before, and then he says it later.
I'm gobsmacked and frankly pissed at this sheriff for being so cavalier with the language that he's using this week and saying, yeah, I've believed that since day 1. Oh, well, guess what? We went back to day 1 and we pulled your effing beliefs, and that was not at all what you said. You said the opposite. So I'm going to get to all of that in just a moment. I'm also going to show you some of the activity around the home today. Weird things, weird. And then also 2 days ago, weird things, weird. Vehicles, one very expensive one, like the kind that Donald Trump drives at Mar-a-Lago. Once he lent it to me. I know that's weird, but I was at Mar-a-Lago for ABC News doing an interview, and he said, just jump into the Maybach and they'll drive you to the airport. Okay. Anyway, it's an aside. Then some strange things that are happening with the FBI involving that restaurant that Savannah Guthrie filmed a segment with her mother for the Today Show. You've seen lots of...
Yeah, so that's what we were talking about the other day, that maybe the... I think it's the same restaurant where the glove individual works, isn't it? I mean, it's another Mexican restaurant. It'd be weird if it was a different one. All right, guys, we need to get some challenges going here to try to reach the goal tonight. We're going to try to donate $500 to Project Cold Case. I'll donate $500 if we get to $350 just from all the people watching the show in the chat. All right?
Clips of it, Savannah sitting at a table with her mom. It's the kind of thing that all of us would do. Working in television, we would do these segments with our families, and now maybe we'll think twice about it, because who the fuck knew that this could happen, and who knows if it's real.
I like how everybody starts using the F word like Megyn Kelly. As soon as you get onto YouTube, you don't have to worry about FCC anymore. Hey, thanks, Allie Cake and Karen W. I miss seeing Queen Chloe and Princess Gracie. Yeah, well, they just sit elsewhere on the couch and everything. They do like the treats. Yeah, they like them the most of any treats we've ever had. They just gobble them right down. And there you go. All right. $67 months, Timothy Cecil. All right.
But the FBI went to that restaurant, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that, and also some camera material has surfaced from Nancy Guthrie's home. I know, I didn't think that was going to happen, right? I figured that they'd done all they could to scratch the video. Do you remember scratching is the process that Google was using from their back-end servers to try to get through the layers of the onion to see whatever they could?
I thought they had a lot more video, more than they ended up having.
From February 1st, when Nancy disappeared, well, the scratching or the whatever else tech they were using to get images has produced more images. But, and there's always a but, it's weird. Like, it's just weird how they're saying it. That's actually pretty informative, the number of things that they could see going on around her home. Just don't get excited about it. I'll explain why in just a hot minute. And then also I want to tell you about, if you haven't already seen it, I want to make sure you do see it, a segment that's resurfaced. Actually, big props to Megyn Kelly and her program and her producers for having unearthed a segment from, I think, 2013, where Savannah Guthrie did a live shot from the Today Show set in New York to her mom in her mom's bedroom. And it was this cute segment that the Today Show would do about how to make your bed, how to make the perfect bed. And the person who was showing them how to make the perfect bed was Nancy Guthrie in her bedroom. And why it's so significant is because the sheriff and investigators in the FBI have been very tight-lipped about Nancy Guthrie's bedroom. And clearly she was abducted after 1:47 in the morning, likely, which is kind of the middle of the night for many. And although the sheriff said early on she was abducted from her bed in the middle of the night, he then retracted that the next day, said, didn't think you would take me literally. I'm pulling that back. And, we all as reporters pulled it back. But then Savannah Guthrie did a video herself. And in the video, she said, quite literally, my mother was taken from her bed.
Yeah, I mean, is there anybody in here that didn't think she was abducted in the middle of the night from her bed? I mean, I don't even know if I ever didn't think that she was, somebody came in, confronted her, and then abducted her while she was sleeping. Okay? Now let's just get to 350 and I'll donate 500. All right? I don't know what the deal is in here tonight, you guys, but we need some challenges going, etc. Right, of course. I mean, she's sleeping, and, it's of course she was removed. I don't even remember thinking anything differently than that. I mean, there's people out there that theorized, without using logic, reason, and common sense, that she was abducted sometime earlier. But that doesn't make any sense, since law enforcement would have access to her, the cell phone data, and the fact that her pacemaker is connected to the unit at the home. They know that she made it home. So there isn't really an argument there. She made it home, and if she did make it home, then they'd know, hey, it didn't activate inside the home. She never made it here, but it did. It actually stopped communicating with the base unit at 228. That means she was removed far enough away from the unit where it never contacted it again. That means that's the time frame she was removed from the home.
In the darkness of night. So we are left to assume that is where the abduction happened, is at the bedroom. And that's why this particular video that the Today Show did in 2013 is so significant, because now we may actually be seeing the scene of the crime, or where the crime may have actually begun. So let me just get down to business on what we have, collected over the last couple of days. Significant reporting, actually. ABC News says that it's got sources that have told them that investigators have been able to pull additional imagery off of Nancy's cameras. Here's why I'm so interested in this, apart from the obvious. Because up until now, we've never really known how many cameras were outside of Nancy's home. We knew for sure the camera was at the front, right? The doorbell cam, the Nest cam, which I believe I brought you on day 3, that it was a Nest cam. So we know that, and of course captured the images of the suspect. But we didn't know what else she had. We knew that the investigators had not taken the outdoor camera that was up on the casita, like the pool house. And then several days later, we could see them up there dismantling it and taking it. It's like, that was a couple days late.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if you've been watching this channel, I've been telling you that there's 3 cameras the whole time. That we know, that we're aware of, and apparently that's all they had. There's only 3 cameras. Okay, and it makes sense too. So you've got a camera here that films the front area, then you've got a camera there that would film this area, a car pulling into here, and then you have a camera over here that films all the way, basically this whole area, really, because it's up high over there. So the only blind spot is right here. This area right there is a blind spot on the camera. So like literally out this front door, going around to this portion right there, you can't see anything. So I think the person actually, after removing the camera, then coming back and parking the car right there, walked around the house like this, jumped over the fence, and that's when the camera right there filmed him at 2:12, just before entering the home.
right? So we knew that one existed. We did not know for sure if there was a garage camera. We did not know if there was a back doorbell camera. But now ABC has actually recovered some of this really interesting information. Okay, so I can tell you that there were cameras that pointed to the swimming pool. I'm assuming that's the one that they missed and got later. I don't know, maybe not. There were cameras pointing towards the backyard. That could also be the camera, right? That they got later up on the casita, or maybe it was the back of the house.
Yeah, no, the cameras are right there. There was one right here, and there's one right there. Okay. I mean, that's where those 3. There's 3 that we're aware of, and since they're saying there's only 3, that must be it.
Pointing towards the pool. Don't know. There was a camera pointing to the side yard. Okay, well, side yard is a tricky one because there's a backyard and a pool, and it's all in the back of the house. Then
hold on, let me hear this. Let me hear this.
ABC has actually recovered some of this really interesting information. Okay, so I can tell you that there were cameras that pointed to the swimming pool. I'm assuming that's the one that they missed and got later. I don't know, maybe not. There were cameras pointing towards the backyard. That could also be the camera, right? That they got.
I think that's the same camera. This camera right here films the yard and the pool. Now, maybe there was a camera over here that we're not aware of, but I mean, you can, from up high like this, you know, where this camera is, right there. I mean, we can pretty much, let's just try to get to it right there. Yeah, it's hard to do. I'll just have to kind of go around and let's see, where is that? Right there. That's actually, that little dark spot right there is the solar panels. So look, from that angle, you'd be able to see the yard and the pool over there, over that fence. So I think it might be doing both of them. That one camera. I don't know if there's a second one. But hey guys, we're trying to get to 350 tonight. If you guys could do some challenges, that's about the only way to make it. If you could, you know, try to do one or figure out what's going on. We're only at about like $45 currently. And if we get to 350, I'm going to donate $500 to Project Cold Case. All right? Does that interest you guys at all, or? Thanks, Alley Cake. Seems like there's very little interest.
Later, up on the casita, or maybe it was the back of the house pointing towards the pool. Don't know. There was a camera pointing to the side yard. Okay, well, side yard is a tricky one because there's a backyard
not
and
nice
a
work 'cause
pool,
we haven't
and
done
it's
it.
all in the back of the house. Then there's the casita,
You guys
and then
have
there's
to
kind of
help
the
support the
driveway
channel.
into the garage, which might be considered a side to the side yard. Okay,
yard,
well,
right there.
side yard is a tricky one because there's a backyard and a pool, and it's all in the back of the house.
Right.
Then there's the casita, and then there's kind of the driveway into the garage, which might be considered a side
I think
yard
it's
because
just
it's
the one
certainly
camera.
the side of the house. I don't know what the reference to side yard is. Nothing says specifically that there's a garage cam, but I still wonder how they know exactly when the cameras went, when
there is
the
a garage
garage door
cam.
went
I've
up and
seen it.
down
I've seen it
the night
there.
that Nancy Guthrie was dropped off. Does the garage door itself record that? Maybe.
Haven't we seen footage of, I mean, I remember seeing a picture of the camera on the front of that garage.
Probably. Was there a camera pointing that way that recorded that? Maybe. Don't know. But I am
Alley
interested
Cake.
to hear that the recovered images that ABC source
boy.
says that they got
Be a tough one.
were from cameras pointed at the swimming pool, the backyard, and the side yard. So those are 3 cameras that we know images were recovered from. We do not know if there were additional cameras that maybe they got nothing from. Okay? So I'm still curious about additional outdoor cameras, what kind of security Nancy may have had. So,
Are she saying there was 3 additional outdoor cameras, or is she including the doorbell one? Have you guys figured that out yet? Let me just try that one more time. I know we're repeating it. But.
to the side yard. Okay, now, ABC has actually recovered some of this really interesting information. Okay, so I can tell you that there were cameras that pointed to the swimming pool. I'm assuming that's the one that they missed and got later. I don't
You mean a camera, not cameras.
know, maybe not. There were cameras pointing towards the backyard. That could also be the camera, right? That they got later up on the casita. Or
Yeah, I think it's the same camera filming both of those.
maybe it was the back of the house pointing towards the pool. Don't know. There was a camera pointing to the side yard. Okay, well, side yard is a tricky one because there's a backyard and a pool, and it's all in the back of the house. Then there's the casita, and then there's kind of the driveway into the garage, which might be considered a side yard because it's certainly
Yeah.
the side of the house. I don't know what the
be.
reference to side yard is. Nothing says specifically that there's a garage cam, but I still wonder how they know exactly when the cameras went, when the garage door went up and down the night that Nancy Guthrie was dropped off.
think it's from-
Does the garage door itself record that? Maybe.
Yeah, it could. I actually think it's probably. I mean, there is a camera right there, but the thing is, those cameras weren't really working. Maybe they had two different motions. I think it's more, there's some kind of a digital footprint that the garage door itself has. You know, because there is a camera right here, right up on here somewhere. I can't remember exactly. I wonder if we can see it if we went down to... No.
Probably. Was there a camera pointing that way that recorded that? Maybe. Don't know. But I am interested to hear that the recovered images that ABC source says that they got were from cameras pointed at the swimming pool, the backyard, and the side yard. So those are 3 cameras that...
Wait, they said... So there was 3 cameras. So, okay, let me repeat that last part. She's saying that, so there must be 4 cameras then.
When the garage door went up and down the night that Nancy Guthrie was dropped off. Does the garage door itself record that? Maybe. Probably. Was there a camera pointing that way that recorded that? Maybe. Don't know. But I am interested to hear that the recovered images that ABC source says that they got were from cameras pointed at the swimming pool, the backyard, and the side yard.
Huh. This was, well, that would make it 4 then, because there's 1 in the front. Hey guys, we're trying to reach a goal of $350 tonight so we can donate $500 to Project Cold Case. We're having a woefully poor start to the show, which means it's going to be really tough unless we have a recovery here. So if you guys have the ability to, we need to get some challenges going, etc. to get there. We're only at $50 right now. That means 1/7 of reaching that.
So those are 3 cameras that we know images were recovered from. We do not know if there were additional cameras that maybe they got nothing from. Okay? So I'm still curious about additional outdoor cameras, what kind of security Nancy may have had. So...
I don't need any more information.
It's a bit of a bummer, though. I'm not going to lie. When I first saw the news, I thought, oh, dear God, thank you. Finally,
I've got the
more leads
10
to go on with this monster. Maybe they've captured him doing something else. Certainly, maybe...
If you want to just send me an email, I don't want to have a long back and forth drawn out thing. If you have an email that you think you know the size, etc., then you can go ahead and send it over. I'll take a look at it. But you don't need to, just send it over in an email. I'll put it into my folder. Big Darren.
They were able to find out if there's an accomplice or not. I'm still going with not. And that's just my theory, not at all what the police are saying. I just see that person looks very, very much the same in the images that are now apparent, according to sources, on 2 different nights. So they could not recover actual surveillance video, according to ABC. What they did get were something called reduced size thumbnail images captured whenever the cameras were triggered by motion. So
that's exactly what I told you guys. Do you remember almost immediately when we looked at the image that is really grainy and it's just the person there with no backpack? I said, this is probably a thumbnail that they were able to retrieve, because the motions probably have a thumbnail, and then you click on it, you can watch it.
You get your little tiny thumbnail, and whatever they were able to, ascertain from these small images that just captured one image the minute the trigger went off. And you know how that can, the trigger can go off and it's a little delayed, so it might not have actually captured the thing that went through it. That's frustrating. But
I guess when the motion's sensed, they probably wait. I don't know how, if there's a delay to create the thumbnail. Don't know.
They did not, and this is important, those cameras did not capture anything investigators currently consider suspicious.
So she likes the word currently.
Currently. Remember that. So what they did see, and this is super interesting, what they did see.
Thanks, Karen.
Several people in Nancy's backyard and in her side yard during an unspecified period of time that happened before the abduction, February 1st. So this is from a period before February 1st. People, backyard, side yard, and some of these images are also captured after Nancy's abduction. They said that law enforcement officers can actually be seen in some of these images. So, I'm confused a little bit, only because if law enforcement is there, maybe it's the day when they're just determining, what's happening, what they don't think happened, what they do think happened, when they start to realize, holy shit, let's get some homicide people in here. In any case, there are these just little reduced size thumbnail images, but law enforcement is seen. So that's definitely after Nancy went missing. And
So there's this light there, but I'm almost positive I've seen a camera. Uh-oh. What's going on with that? Yeah, like I'm almost positive that I've seen a camera up here that they must have removed. We'll have to go back and see if we can find some footage of that.
they said that those officers can be seen near the pool, so backyard. The camera either that points to the backyard or the casita, the camera that points to the backyard. I can't tell you which one this is, but here's the really big gut punch. ABC says its source tells them the cameras captured, quote, nothing on the night that Nancy Guthrie was abducted. What a piss off.
Yeah, well, I think what it means is that, yeah, he went to the front door. They knew that they were being filmed and then removed that camera. They were able to retrieve that video for some reason. And then there was that other thumbnail they retrieved from that same camera from whenever that was, we don't know. And then he goes around the back and then it captured motion again, but maybe that thumbnail was written over. I mean, it's just that there's only two little moments where he would have been filmed. Now they're saying there's one by the pool, so I guess, you know, like my random theory might even be more accurate than I previously thought. You know, like let's say there is a camera filming the pool. Well, if you walk around like this and hop over this wall, only this camera here would pick it up. This one would not. And this camera here, I believe, is the one that picked up motion at 2:12. Now, haven't been told that, but that's what I think.
I'm going to still hold out hope, though, because I think that work maybe is ongoing, that they're still trying to scratch. Maybe they're still trying to get those layers of the onion of the video that, you know, without the subscription, PSA, folks, please get a subscription if you have a security or a doorbell cam. It's not that much money, and my God, it can mean the difference, you know, between holding people accountable or even finding you if you're taken. So that's the ABC News reports of these new images that supposedly were captured. I also cannot tell you how new. This information could be new to ABC, but it may not be new information. This may be stuff that's already been around for a bit. Don't know, but I just like the idea that there are these images of people in the backyard and the side yard, because that helps, right? Because you're going to look at all contractors, you're going to check all people.
You might want to look at them.
And maybe there was somebody in the backyard doing...
I'd look at the pictures and see if there's somebody that looks similar, you know.
Something that they had not considered before. You know, based on the amount of crime that I cover, you gotta go through all.
Hey, are you guys noticing at all that we're really struggling here to try to reach the 350 so we can donate 500 to Project Cold Case? It's almost like we're just sort of ignoring that that's what we're trying to get done here. So if you guys have the ability to, that would be great. We need some challenges, 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 challenges going, and we've had 0 currently.
The contractors. Too many crimes have been the contractors. Have been somebody in the contractors, somebody who's a transient worker. I mean, Elizabeth Smart, for fuck's sake, was taken by this scumbag who came in.
Yeah, the Elizabeth Smart case is one of those ones that everybody should sort of remember as just sort of, it didn't match what anybody was thinking really happened. You know, everybody's, you know, it's a dad or some guy that was over here, and it just turns out it's some total nut job, wacko, religious weirdo, you know.
To do some handyman work, yeah? So you got to look at those folks, because they come in and they get a real close-up look at you, your family, your shit, and everything. So maybe there's an image of somebody who's there in the backyard, side yard, who maybe they didn't know about before. I'm hopeful. Okay. Also, this is what Matt Finn from Fox News reports. I'm just going to quote Matt. He's been doing some great reporting, and I miss him that he's not doing it all the time now because, again, the details are dwindling. It's very sad. Day 41. Matt says this, quote, a law enforcement official close to the Guthrie case tells Fox News this afternoon.
Hey, Neil, you know what I wish is that I could do this show without you being a dipshit, okay? So I'm going to have to remove you from the channel, you know? I'm trying to reach a goal so that we can donate $500, you asshole. So you go do something else, all right? God, what a pile of shit, you know? All right, let's see. Let's play this.
That new photos have been recovered from all 3 cameras on Nancy Guthrie's property. It says all 3. I just don't know if it's all or if there's still others that, maybe we didn't know about or that maybe Steve might not know about. I'm not sure that it's all.
I'm complaining, Jeff, because dipshits like you who rarely support the channel at all are complaining when I'm trying to do something here, okay? Just because you don't ever do it, and I don't know what your deal is, but the fact that you just said that, you're not welcome in here ever again. Bye-bye. All right.
But as ABC reports, and he says that includes the front door camera, the driveway, and the backyard. So this is different wording. The driveway, to me, it's hard to tell if this is the front doorbell cam goes out to the driveway. It's a long way out, but you can see it. Or if it's the driveway out the garage. Don't know. Fox is told these images...
Yeah. My channel's given $289,000 out in 6 years. So go F yourself, okay? If you don't like the fact that I try to raise the funds in here, and yes, I get frustrated as hell when people aren't helping it, because it's the only way to make it happen. I don't have the ability to do it, okay? Yes, I get frustrated. It's just the way it is. I appreciate everybody helping and so forth, but at the nights where people just aren't helping, like you, Jeff, every single night, yes, that would be, it is frustrating, yes.
You show people in cars, that's good to know as well. Thank you, cars, hopefully license plates as well. But currently nothing is considered suspicious. Currently. As you're investigating, may become suspicious, you don't know. No arrests, etc. These images were captured in the days and weeks leading up to Nancy's disappearance on February 1st. But, in capital letters,
they got one
federal
of the
investigators have so far been unable to recover new images from the critical hours on the actual night and early morning that Nancy went missing. Fox is told that the FBI does not have plans to release these new photos at this time.
I don't want them to release them. I mean, here's the thing, everybody. I've been doing true crime for a long time. I want to see them, like, oh yeah, ooh, look, ooh. But it's not valuable. And the problem is we've got so many dipshit YouTubers out there that'll take every single picture that they release and look into their lives and pretend that they're onto something and start accusing totally innocent people that are on those images. Do you guys agree with that or not? Because that is the truth. Well, I don't want you to see what he said. Well, that's too bad. Just who the hell are you also? I don't even know who you are. Where these people come from, it's amazing.
If there was
it has nothing to do with you, Get Justice for All. You have no decision making or anything related to the channel. Just watch the show, for God's sakes. You don't need to jump in and discuss what we just said to some other person that was being an asshole troll, okay? Yeah.
Reason to share these images with the public, the FBI would, end quote.
Oh, Jesus.
Obviously, they're just saying right now, we got pictures of people, but right now, we don't know if these people, that we got to put the APB out, right? We don't know that we need to crowdsource this. Okay, so here, though, is the thing that's right under my skin, in my craw. Obviously, every time Sheriff Chris Nanos gives an interview, which is, sporadic and selective, to say the least, I hang on every word because we don't get a lot of words. There's no press conferences. They have stopped giving out the regular, semi-regular briefs that they were giving out, media briefs. And whenever he speaks, every time there's just something else that doesn't make sense or is in direct contradiction to something else he has said. And woo, what a humdinger
Thanks,
this one
Wild
was.
Bill.
Okay? This one was a mofo of a humdinger. He said something this week that is in direct conflict with what he said in the first hours after Nancy disappeared. Get to that in a moment. First, quick note from my sponsor. If your teenager is glued to their phone 8 hours a day, barely sleeping, obsessing over how they look, please stop and listen. We used to think that this was just a phase, but there are new reports that suggest these platforms may have been designed to keep your kids addicted. I'm talking about anxiety spikes, body dysmorphia, and the rage, the rage that you see when you try to take their phone away. Believe me, I have lived this, and it has been so frustrating, and I have felt so alone. This is not bad parenting.
Oh, sorry. That's an ad. Sorry.
He knows why the suspect. Who else? NBC News. They seem to be getting all the interviews lately to keep them hooked, maybe even at any cost. No notice to the rest of us. And then we keep getting the response, and the sheriff won't be giving any interviews.
I know, Bonnie. I just said that,
Boom,
Bonnie.
he does, with someone, one person.
Good Lord,
Okay,
yeah.
and this is critical because he said something in this interview that stood out like a frickin' sore thumb. He said, effectively, that he believes he knows why the suspect did this. If you're seeing me blink multiple times, it's because I'm gobsmacked. We believe we know why he did this, and we believe that it was targeted.
Everybody thinks we believe why.
I'm sorry, that would say motive. You know what the motive of this monster was.
Yeah, the abduction of...
That would be big. That would
Look at the why is they wanted to abduct Nancy Guthrie probably for a ransom. That's what it seems like, right?
be massive because the rest of us have been wondering in this mystery, how did he do it? Why did he do it? Nothing seems to point to the why. What's in the backpack? You know, all sorts of possible theories, awful ones, and all of it's awful, but some more awful than others. But there's the sheriff now saying, we believe we know why he did this. And what stands out even more is the reporter says, so it gives you a sense of motive here and why the person did this? And the sheriff says, yeah, I think it's come out from day one. I think from day one, we had strong beliefs about what happened, and those beliefs haven't diminished. Do what now? Really? Okay. And the sheriff went on to say, don't think for a minute that because it happened to the Guthrie family, you're safe. No. Keep your wits about you. Basically saying to us in the public, and certainly the people in the smaller Tucson area of that neighborhood and the greater Tucson area, that there's a risk out there, that there is a risk to the public. Don't think for a minute that because it happened to the Guthrie family, you're safe. No. Keep your wits about you. He goes on to say it in a whole bunch of other ways as well, meaning.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm going to open up this image here. But hey, guys, we're trying to reach 350 tonight. If you guys could help support the channel, that'd be great. If you do, we're going to donate $500, which I would have to bring in 750 to get back the 500. So if we can get the 350 in here, that would be great. Thank you. I'm trying to find this one file that I just uploaded. There's so many images that are out there from a long time ago at the beginning of this. I mean, here's a picture right there. And so what's weird is you can actually see the camera over here. You see the solar panels on the side of the house and then the camera. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's right there. And then I just don't see anything in the pool area over here on the same, up on the top. currently.
Yeah, there's a danger to the community with this guy out there. Okay. Because on day 2, you told us the exact
Why do you ask? Just send something if you want to send something. Here's my email. I don't know what you want to send me, but there's the email right there. All right, you guys, we're at $69. That's absolutely incredibly poor, you know.
opposite, Sheriff Danos, and you didn't just say it once. You told us there's no danger to the community. So what the actual is going on when you say that, yeah, I think it's come out from day 1. I think from day 1 we had strong beliefs about what happened. And there's a danger to the community. Because on day 2, you told us there was no danger to the community. So what did you know on day 1? Because it seems now on day 41,
Let me rewind this.
there's a danger to the community with this guy out there. Okay.
Yeah, so the danger to the community comment is weird because you sort of wonder, you know, if it was targeted to Nancy Guthrie being abducted, then wouldn't you think that everybody else is pretty safe even if you haven't caught him, because that was the whole point of it? So it makes you kind of think away from the abduction a little bit.
Because on day 2, you told us the exact opposite, Sheriff Danos, and you didn't just say it once. You told us there's no danger to the community. So what the actual is going on when you say that, yeah, I think...
Well, he didn't need to say the word community. He kind of implied it. I know that you want it to be who you want it to be, okay? He did imply that.
I think it's come out from day 1. I think from day 1 we had strong beliefs about what happened. And there's a danger to the community. Because on day 2, you told us there was no danger to the community. So what did you know on day 1? Because
you're like the quintessential confirmation bias. It's amazing.
it seems now on day 41, you do not have the same beliefs as day 1. Let me just play you the NBC interview, and then I'm going to play you what he actually said on day 2. Take a look.
Do you think that this suspect could strike again, whoever did this?
Well, absolutely. We believe we know why he did this, and we believe that it was targeted, but we're not 100% sure of that. And so it'd be silly to tell people, yeah, don't worry about it. You're not his target. Don't think for a minute that.
All right, we finally had somebody in here. Jim Lawn is, are you doing, his iguana is doing a 5 for 5 membership challenge. All right, so that means 5 people. If you donate 1 membership, he'll donate 5 all by himself. So it's 2 for 1. So if you guys are out there, look at, we got Wild Bill Wassman there. That would be great.
Because it happened to the Guthrie family, you're safe. No, keep your wits about you.
There is something that's come out in the investigation that gives you a sense of motive here and why this person did this?
You know, I think it's come out from day 1. I think from day 1 we had some strong beliefs about what happened, and those beliefs haven't diminished.
Do you believe it was a burglary gone wrong?
I'm not going to get into those theories. We have our beliefs. Everybody else has theirs.
Is there still hope that this mixed DNA will be able to be identified?
Absolutely. That's going to get us to somebody, we hope. There was a timeline when things went offline. So we're looking into that. Why did that occur? We check with our power companies. We check with others in the neighborhood.
And that's beyond just the fact that the suspect took the camera off.
Correct.
All right, so that's the NBC interview, but he also gave a nice selected interview to...
Well, thanks, 5858, Alley Cake, and Wild Bill Wassman. We need 2 more, you guys. And there's Miss Kyla.
To one of the locals, KVOA, and I believe that's where Savannah Guthrie started her broadcasting career after deciding that she didn't want to practice law anymore, but wanted instead to go into broadcasting, and eventually ended up at Court TV, which was legal broadcasting. By the way, As quick aside, Savannah and I once talked at Court TV about her background in law, and she actually worked on the Enron case. So if you're ever wondering just what kind of a lawyer Savannah Guthrie was when she was practicing, she was a hell of a good lawyer. She worked on one of the most prominent cases, back in the day with Ken Lay and Enron. Remember that case? And then she moved on to be a legal journalist, and then obviously this titan of broadcasting on the Today Show. So KVOA, which is, again, I believe Savannah's first broadcasting job, the reporter asked this question: for those in the community worried about their safety because the suspect has not been arrested, what is your message to them? And this is what the sheriff answered back.
Messages to everybody, putting this case aside. I understand we live in a beautiful area and nice clean air, and people like to have their windows open at night. I would tell you, because I'm just a cop, don't do that. Lock your windows, lock your doors. If you've got a security system, I've learned from this.
Thanks,
I have a security system too. Make sure you've got that recording that's not just recording itself over and over and over again. A subscription, maybe a cloud server. I don't know, but I'm saying take a look at your security system.
Well, okay then. So we should all be concerned because there's a monster, in our midst.
That seemed kind of consistent.
Okay. That's not what you said on day one. On day one...
Oh, was that a different interview?
I should say day two. On day two, which was Monday, after the Sunday that Nancy Guthrie disappeared, you gave a press conference and you assured us all that there's nothing to worry about. There's no boogeyman out there. There's nothing to be concerned about. No cause for alarm, no risk to the community. And again, you said you had a handle on things day one. Why did you say that? Why did you believe there was no risk to the community on day one? Because just this week, you have said quite literally, Sheriff Nanos, that I think it's come out from day one. I think from day one we had strong beliefs about what happened. And you should be concerned about what's happening. There's a danger out there in the community. This is what you're saying this week. So don't take it from me. Don't let me paraphrase the good sheriff. Let me play you what Chris Nanos, the sheriff of Pima County, said in his first press conference on Monday, that day two of the Nancy Guthrie investigation. Here's what he said.
Well, no, I don't think there's an active threat, but I hate to say that because, we're going to canvass that neighborhood.
Thank you, Jim Long.
Maybe there's a power been seen around.
There's
a lot of work still to do. We don't have any indication that that the public is in
Your
danger.
iguana. Thanks.
So that's what Sheriff Nanos said on day two of this investigation. Nothing to worry about. No concern out there for the public. No, nothing to worry about. But, on week 6,
I know.
instead he is saying
that.
absolutely there's a concern to the public out there. And we've known since day one what this person was doing and what he had planned to do when he was in there. We've known effectively motive. My words, not his. But you heard me. You heard him. So what the hell is it? You've known since day one what the suspect was doing there and that there's a concern to the public? Then why didn't you say that on day one and day two? Why did you tell us, no worries, no...
Yeah, I guess that is sort of like he said on day one, we thought we knew what this was, and now we're concerned for the safety of the people. But then back at the beginning, that is at the beginning, where apparently they thought that. So why then was he saying, oh yeah, everything's fine?
concern. And why did my sources tell me what your focus was on day one? You towed the brother-in-law's car. Then you searched their house. You called off the search for Nancy Guthrie. You turned over the scene and you told the public there was nothing to worry about. What changed, Sheriff Nanos?
I just think Nanos, this whole thing was over his head. He's not qualified to do a case of this nature. It's a small little area in town that I guess he's the sheriff of the area there, but it's, it's usually pretty smooth sailing there.
Did we have nothing to worry about on day one because your beliefs were something else? Or did you not believe since day one that there was a danger to the community out there and that you've known all along what the motive is? I don't understand you anymore, and I don't feel like I can trust what you say. And this is not the first time I've said that and had to say that because of these competing statements and competing wisdoms. Just be straight with us. And I get it. I've been a crime reporter for 38 frickin' years. I get it. You can't always say things, but then don't say them. Like if you can't say things to protect an investigation, don't go yammering on and saying conflicting things, because that just makes us think you don't know what you're doing. And when someone's life is at stake, and maybe the prosecution of someone who might have done something to that person, when all of that is at stake, we need to have faith.
The thing is, I feel the same. I think we've all feel the same. Which part, Jason? Let's see. Where is it? Let's see. Sounds like Ashleigh is still. Let me see this. Is miffed about Nanos indirectly calling her out early on. I don't know. It's dirty's the reporting for. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. Like maybe it's a little bit more biased than it would have been, but I think a lot of people feel that same sort of frustration.
You and your abilities. This doesn't give us that faith. Which brings me to another topic. Brian Enton reported, I think last week, that the FBI had gone back to the restaurant where Savannah Guthrie and her mom filmed a Today Show segment. It was such an adorable segment. You've seen it on a loop by now. This beautiful lunch that she's having with her mom. It's upsetting to watch it now, knowing what this family has gone through. But that restaurant was called El Charro. And Brian Enton reported that the FBI agents went back to El Charro to start asking some questions, right? They were asking employees if they remembered seeing anybody while the Today Show was there filming that segment with Savannah and her.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Well, it's interesting. I think I'd like to know if that's the same restaurant that the gloves led back to. You guys remember that, right? The gloves that they found? The DNA that was in the glove led to a worker at a Mexican restaurant. Is that the same one? And now they're, I mean, that's pretty interesting if it is the same one. All right, guys, we're currently at about a third now. We're trying to get to 350. We are at 119. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, we're trying to get to 350, and then I'll donate 500, which would take 750 to get to 500. We'll donate 500 to Project Cold Case. Or you guys can pick one if you want. All right.
Mom. So the FBI came back, according to Brian Enton, and said, did you see anything strange? Anybody who was hanging around who didn't fit, right? Anybody who was watching the filming. And then they said, apparently, Enton said that the agents reportedly wanted to know if anybody seemed overly interested in that segment being filmed. Did they try to take pictures of that segment being filmed? Did anybody get angry during the filming of that segment? Was anybody lingering in a way that felt creepy or off? I bring that back up because if the FBI is there at that restaurant asking about anybody acting weird, then what is Sheriff Dano saying when he says, we've known from day one, what this guy was up to, why he was there, why he targeted. But then you get the FBI over at the restaurant. Once again, just hard to make sense of anything. But given...
Yeah, of course I write off donations. I mean, like these people think that they're like so clever. Hey, everybody, listen to me. If I donate, let's say for just randomly, if somebody makes like $100,000 in a year, right, and you donate $30,000, of course you write off your donations. All that means is you're taxed on $70,000. All right, so you might save 10, but you're still paying it. You get it? Like these idiots don't seem to understand what's going on. It's like let's say I pay $48,000 in charities, right? Well, the thing is that might reduce my taxes about $14,000 or something. But that means I'm still negative 30 whatever total. You know what I mean? It's so, these people are freaking stupid. I mean, they don't even understand how taxes work.
That.
Yeah,
Savannah
of course
Guthrie
it's 19
said,
minutes old.
I think it was
I'm
2
just
weeks ago, maybe
explaining.
3 at this point, I can't
We
remember.
had another
probably
troll in here.
2.5 or so, that my mother was taking.
But anyways, you guys, are we just not going to make an effort in here tonight? We've already an hour in, and it's we are a third, but this usually gets slower and slower as the night goes on, except for some nights.
Taken from her bed in the middle of the night, in the dark of night. It harkens back once again to Sheriff Nanos saying early on she was taken from her bed in the middle of the night. That was printed, and then he retracted it all, suggesting that, I didn't think you were going to take me literally. Yes, Sheriff, we do take law enforcement literally when they say facts like that. It's important. That would be a big part of a story where a woman was abducted. You said she was taken from her bed. That is a different element. She wasn't taken because she accidentally interrupted somebody burglarizing her or stealing
Yeah,
some
they're probably
things of hers.
living on.
You said she was taken
But
from
of
her
course,
bed
I'm going to write
in the middle of the night.
taxes.
Changes everything, right?
Who wouldn't?
And then you retracted it. And then Savannah said it weeks later. So it
Idiots.
makes me think your retractions aren't worth anything either. And then Megyn Kelly's team at Megyn Kelly Media said that they found a segment from the Today Show from 2013 when Savannah Guthrie and her colleagues on the Today Show went live to Nancy Guthrie's bedroom. It's only significant because if something happened in that bedroom, you now have an image of where that bed is, where a window is nearby, and what is also in the area of that bed, because the early alleged ransom seeker said that he or she knew something about the inside of Nancy Guthrie's bedroom. And I think the early reporting may have said that there was an Apple Watch on the bedside table. Oh, thanks, Captain Obvious. How many of us charge our watches on our bedside tables? In any case, this shows you the bedroom, the bedside table, a nearby.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out my show. I really, really appreciate it.
Yes, you can, but here's the little skill. See this nice
I wonder if that's like maybe over here is where that monitor is.
corner? Yeah. You want to make sure that's as tight as can be. Okay. Tuck it in.
And you can keep cookies in
Then
there.
when you sleep, yeah, there you go.
And then
So
Mom,
when you
just
sleep
bounce
in the
a
middle of
quarter.
the night, it doesn't pull out.
All right, we're gonna try it.
Good.
Maybe we can't see the other side either. I'm pretty sure that window though is right over on this side of right over here. That's her. I think it's that window. So I think her room is right over here. You know, amazingly, that's the same part of the house that's not being covered at all by camera. You know, so the part that's not covered by camera is right here, right inside that. But that's where her window is, and you know, it doesn't look like it takes up the full. I think what it is, there's a wall here, and there's probably a bathroom right over there. That's what I think. I think so. Like if you look at her video, I don't know where it is now. Where the hell did I put that? All right, let's do that again.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out.
Thanks, Wild Bill Wassman.
I think I could because of this delightful skill.
What?
Yeah.
Based on every steering wheel ups, but what business
If you have your front, leave it. If my loved one,
Okay, so I think I could.
This day.
running around mom newspaper with
Think I could because
Yes, you can, but
Right there,
here's
right
the
Yeah, see, there's a window right there, and that's really close.
here's the little skill. See this nice corner?
See how there's only a little bit of space between here and there? Oh, that's interesting, because there's a window there, so I don't know.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that's as tight as can be.
Okay.
Tuck it in.
And you can keep cookies in
Then
there.
when you sleep, yeah.
No, it's not a window. Okay, good. It's a picture. So that
There
makes
you go.
sense. That makes sense. So see this little corner of the wall? There's a window. See I think what's happening here is in here, that's her room, and then there's a wall right there, and then probably somewhere right over here is a door off screen that goes into a master bathroom. That's my opinion. Okay, because there is a wall right there. And we just saw that. And that's the window. It's the only part of the house that makes sense. And then I think this is a slider that's right behind the cameraman that goes out to a little private deck area here. Thanks, Allie Cake. And Wild Bill Wassman. All right, who's going to do the next challenge, you guys? I'll leave him the case. Well, I don't know if it's good stuff. I'm just covering it because they're, like this is new stuff to think about, I mean, the way she's wording it here. I have to go open that up again now. Hold on. And, it's not solved yet. That's one of the things. It's like it's hard to drop something when it's not, it's still just active.
Hey everyone, I'm
kind of like a triangle.
Everyone,
With your top sheet. Don't get started yet. And
I'm not getting started.
and then you tuck it under as tightly
She's
as
playing it too here.
you can. But here's the
But many of us haven't changed much in our homes that we live in for this many years. Maybe it looks a little different, but we do know it's the same home. Was that the same setup? Was that the same bedside table, bed, window right next? Don't know that. Just one more piece of the puzzle. Also wanted to tell you about some activity.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I thank you for everybody who's helping support the channel and allows us to do the stuff that we do. Some nights just aren't as good as other nights, and I know there's people out there that are always helping support the channel, and there's a lot of people who never support the channel, and not because they can't, they just don't want to. Right? But there's some of you that are always supporting the channel because all the great stuff that we do. We've done some amazing stuff over the years. In fact, after we get done with this, I was going to go back over the general that's missing, just in a different sort of angle, and compare it to a case that we actually paid when we paid for, I think it was $3,000 back in the day, to the DNA Doe project to solve one of the DNA cases. That was before we started working with identifinders.
Activity at Nancy Guthrie's home yesterday and Wednesday. So I'm recording this on Friday, so
Thanks, Alley
it would be
Cat.
Wednesday the 11th of March
Alley
and
Cake and
Thursday
Alley
the 12th
Cat.
of March. Let me start with the 11th of March. A live streamer named JLR who, listen, lots of people have had complaints about JLR for being...
Well, you just got to look him up on Wikipedia. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I give him credit that he shows up and he's there and stuff like that.
intrusive, but I'll tell you, he has been dogged in his coverage. When everybody else left, JLR did not. And oftentimes he gives the bird's eye view of what's happening
See, they're showing
visually. Doesn't matter
this one.
what he's reporting. You can see what
Sovereign
he's
Hope.
actually pointing his camera to. And JLR saw activity at Nancy's home on Wednesday that was batshit crazy. A white Maybach showed up. And if you know anything about Maybachs, they expensive. They very expensive. Like I said earlier, I rode in one. Donald Trump had one.
Good. All right. Awesome. Good to know. 5A.
I had a couple of them at Mar-a-Lago, and I rode in one, and they're stunning, and lots and lots of money. And this white Maybach showed up at Nancy's home, and then Brian Enton told me it had been seen there multiple times. Interesting. But then also a white Hyundai showed up, and here's the weird progression of events the way I understand it, and if I've got it wrong, please tell me in the comments. The way I understand it, these vehicles show up. They're there for better part of an hour plus, and then the garage door goes up and the blue Subaru comes out, which
Thanks, Mary Magdalene.
we only know that Nancy Guthrie had a blue Subaru and that it was towed away on a flatbed. We do not know if it was ever returned, but it seemed that it was now leaving the property and nobody really saw it come in. But 3 vehicles left the property: the blue Subaru, the white Maybach, and the white Hyundai. And JLR believed, he thought it looked like Nancy Guthrie's son Cam, that's Savannah's older brother, driving Nancy's vehicle. It's hard to say whether it was or if it wasn't, but that's what JLR thought he saw when he was the closest. The camera angles can't really catch it, but just odd, that kind of thing happening. Also because As far as vehicles that have been seized under warrant in this case, the very first one to our knowledge that was seized was Annie Guthrie's vehicle, and it has not yet been returned. As of this recording, March 13th, the questions have been asked by multiple reporters. Is Annie Guthrie's vehicle being returned? Sheriff Nanos confirmed on Thursday, which I think was day 5, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, day 5, that Annie Guthrie's car had been seized under a warrant and was being processed. That was how he put it in his press conference. My source told me on day 3, Tuesday, that Annie Guthrie's car had been seized and was in evidence. So after that, the next vehicle that we heard about that was seized under a warrant was this silver Range Rover, because there was a raid on a home close to Nancy Guthrie's home on February 13th into February 14th, and that silver Range Rover was towed from a restaurant parking lot where another dweller of the home, the son of the homeowner, was picking up food apparently, and was detained in that parking lot, and his silver Range Rover was taken under warrant on a flatbed. That vehicle has since been returned.
Yeah.
I think a week and a half ago.
Yeah, so why do people say that it was that other guy, Zach, that was in that vehicle?
Maybe more. But Annie got...
You know, the weird part is I don't think anybody really knows where the Zach guy's name came from. You know, it's like somebody mentions a name, but what was the reason that somebody brought him up?
Guthrie's car has not. Several reporters were told it's in the process of being returned. Annie Guthrie's car is in the process of being returned, and here we are, I think, a week to a week and a half after hearing that, still not returned. But
yeah, 36 inches, right. Those are 10-inch tiles.
The silver Range Rover has been. It was seized 2 weeks after Annie Guthrie's was seized, and it was returned already for the last 2 weeks. I think they only had it for 2 weeks. I don't know what other vehicles might have been seized. Possibly the first raid that happened, Rio Rico, remember that poor guy, the DoorDash driver? I'm not sure if they seized his vehicle, but to our knowledge...
You didn't send it the right email, probably.
They don't seem to have his stuff. It's just really odd. I can't make heads or tail of it, but it is a strange, occurrence that maybe Nancy Guthrie's blue Subaru has been returned as well, if that is the vehicle that we saw coming out of her garage.
Yeah, but who was it returned to? That's her house. You mean just returned to the external family? What, are they going to sell the house really soon, or? I don't know, man. Doesn't it feel like they know exactly what they're doing? Like it almost feels like they know who the person is, like they know who the person is, and they're just waiting for something. You're giving the cars back, everybody's back to normal, and it seems like you would lock things down a little bit more for a longer period of time, even though the sheriff pretty much opened the crime scene up almost immediately. What do you mean? That Zach guy's name has been all over the place. People have been doing overlays and using images, etc. All right, you guys. We're trying to reach a goal here tonight. We are at 139. We're trying to get to 350. If we get to 350, I'll donate $500 to a true crime related charity. You guys, I was wanting to do the Project Cold Case, but you guys, if it gives you a little bit more enthusiasm. Last night, the 350 from the night is way less than what we tried to bring in last night, or got in last night. So I'm trying to figure out why it's such a hard thing to do tonight. We just need a few more challenges by the people in here to get people to help support the channel, which will allow us to do that. All right, can we get started on that a little bit? We've been on here for an hour and 19 minutes, and we're just struggling along. So if you have the ability to, that would be great. Thank you.
And driving out of the property. I can't tell you if it is or if it isn't. All I know is that she had a blue Subaru, it was towed out of her garage, and a blue Subaru drove out of the property on Wednesday. I don't think
so, L.O.
February 11th. Thursday, the next day, February 12th, 2 vehicles show up from the electric company. And I think it's the Sovereign Electric. Yeah, Sovereign Electric. 2 vehicles from the Sovereign Electric Company showed up. Then a blue, like a navy blue Kia, showed up as well. Drove into the driveway.
Oh, but earlier
3
you didn't
hours
say that at
later,
the beginning.
again,
what
that's
the
a long
point was.
time to be there. But 3 hours later, the electric company staff, I assume that they are the electric company staff, are on the roof of Nancy Guthrie's home, and they've got some big, long pole and bent in one area. I cannot tell you what that is. If you know, please tell me in the comments. But they're up there mucking about with this very long pole-like
Yeah, I don't
device.
think they're going to sell the house.
That's Thursday.
That'd be crazy.
Also on Thursday, something else happens, but not at Nancy's home. There is a wash, which in Arizona they call it a wash. Other people call it drainage ditches. But I think,
Arroyo.
for spring, big rainstorms, it helps the runoff, for flooding in the desert. But anyway, in one of these wash divots or gullies behind Annie and Tommaso's home. That's Annie Guthrie and Tommaso, her husband's home. A wash behind their home. JLR, again, the live streamer, found a pair of tan pants, size 12, NYCC, women's size 12, NYCC brand, which I think is New York Clothing Company, and a knee brace. They told the police about it. We don't know what happened. We have seen pictures of Nancy Guthrie wearing tan pants on the Today Show set. No idea if these are connected, if they are at all, if they're Nancy Guthrie's pants. We don't know. But it is super interesting that the person who was with JLR, I think his name was Jim, said that they were partially buried, that they were, he had to sort of unearth them. Spotted them, but had to unearth them. And all I can think of is why? Why hasn't there been such extensive searching around Nancy and Jim? 12 NYCC, women's size 12, NYCC brand, which I think is New York Clothing Company, and a knee brace. They told the police about it. We don't know what happened. We have seen pictures of Nancy Guthrie wearing tan pants on the Today Show set. No idea if these are connected, if they are at all, if they're Nancy Guthrie's pants. We don't know. But it is super interesting that the person who was with 12 NYCC
Let me go back
of Nancy Guthrie's home,
Yeah, so there's a picture of it on here.
they've got some big, long pole and bent in one area.
You guys, can we try to reach the goal? We need a few more challenges in here. Tonight we're trying to get to $350, and then I'm going to donate $500. $350 doesn't even bring in $250 to the channel after YouTube takes its cut. So if you guys could please help support the channel so that we can do the $500 donation. That was what the goal was tonight. Is there a reason why tonight is such a struggle and other nights, the last 2 nights, hasn't been? What makes tonight different than those nights? Can you explain that?
I cannot tell you what that is. If you know, please tell me in the comments. But they're up there mucking about with this very long pole-like device. That's Thursday. Also on Thursday, something else happens, but not at Nancy's home. There is a wash, which in Arizona.
Yeah, hey, Big Darren, I'm not getting your email, okay? I don't know if you're going into spam or what the hell it is. You might have to use a different email. I have no idea. I don't have anything from you.
Arizona, they call it a wash. Other people call it drainage ditches. But I think, for spring, big rainstorms, it helps the runoff, for flooding in the desert. But anyway, in one of these wash divots or gullies behind Annie and Tommaso's home. That's Annie Guthrie and Tommaso, her husband's home. A wash behind their home. JLR, again, the live streamer, found a pair of tan pants, size 12, NYCC, women's size 12, NYCC brand, which I think is New York Clothing Company, and a knee brace. They told the police about it. We don't know what happened. We have seen pictures of Nancy Guthrie wearing tan pants on the Today Show set. No idea if these are connected, if they are at all, if they're Nancy Guthrie's pants. We don't know. But it is super interesting that the person who was with JLR, I think his name was Jim, said that they were partially buried, that they were, he had to sort of unearth them. Spotted them, but had to unearth them. And all I can think of is why? why hasn't there been such extensive searching around Nancy and...
Yeah, I work for money too, she-felon, you idiot. Yeah, that's the same time I do a show every single night.
And Annie's homes, given the fact that on day fucking 2, Sheriff Nanos called off the search. Why? Why would you do that? Because 12 NYCC
right
women's...
So those are the pants.
Size 12, NYCC brand, which I think is New York clothing.
So are they saying that these were found right next to the house or something? Huh. I mean, where were these found?
Company, and a knee brace. They told the police about it. We don't know what happened. We have seen pictures of Nancy Guthrie wearing tan pants, but I think,
I don't know where they were found, I guess.
Spring, big rainstorms,
I don't think
it helps the runoff. Said that they were partially buried, that they were, we had to sort of unearth them. Spotted them, but had to unearth them. And all I can think of is like, why? Why hasn't there been such extensive searching around Nancy and Annie's homes, given the fact that on day fucking 2, Sheriff Nanos called off the search? Why? Why would you do that? Because there's these tan pants that are partially buried now. How long does it take to get partially buried? Once again, you got to get me off the ledge, because it's like, if there had been the kind of searching that there's been, say, in, I don't know, like General Neil McCaslin, who's missing in neighboring New Mexico, there are teams from all over the place, all over the U.S. government, even an Air Force base, helping to search. Did not seem that was the case in Nancy Guthrie.
Yeah, if they're found 2 miles from her house, then does it matter?
And here JLR is on week 6 finding these tan pants and the knee brace.
He didn't find anything.
In a wash behind Annie's home.
So they're saying in a wash behind her home. Okay. Well, let's see. Behind her home. So if her home's there, is this the wash right there? I mean, it could be, if that's the wash. I mean, it is pretty close. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it would be 2 miles. If it's 2 miles, it wouldn't mean a damn thing. But maybe this is it right here, the wash. I just said... God, what's going on in the chat, man? I just said behind her house. Here's the wash. Yeah, it's hard to say. Thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. I know it's probably in here somewhere. Don't know exactly, but... I don't know, it's hard to know exactly which one it is. Behind their house could be, I mean, maybe it's over here somewhere, down the way a little bit. Almost seems like they're on a cliff on this side. Yeah, Jim found, whoever Jim is, yeah.
Could it have been there in the last few weeks? I don't know, maybe. But again, Jim said that they were somewhat buried. to our knowledge,
Well, behind Annie's
there has
house?
been rain.
What would that have to do with anything?
Nothing that seems torrential. Certainly, Brian Enton's been there every day for 41 days.
Behind
trust me.
Annie's house.
And he has not reported once that there's been some torrential rain. They've had some rainy days, but not that would flood a wash. Maybe it would help to bury something. I don't know. But again, where are the search parties? For Nancy and for evidence, right? Something else I wanted to bring up, and I know many of you have talked about this in various discussion groups, chat groups. There's a photograph that was taken out in front of Nancy Guthrie's home in the first few days. And the reason I know it's in the first few days is because there's a blue shirt. We've all talked about this before. It's an LL Bean shirt just dropped on the front sidewalk, to the side of the front sidewalk at Nancy's home. And many of us said, well, what was that?
All right, guys, what we're trying to do tonight is bring in $350. We have currently $144, and we're trying to bring in $350, so we're $200 short, where I'll donate $500 cold dollars to a charity out there, a true crime-related charity. So if you guys could please help support the channel, that would be great. You know, we need some challenges done, stuff like that. I mean, this is the lowest night of the entire month, on a night where we're actually trying to do a challenge. You get it? I mean, we're trying to do a charity. I just don't understand.
And eventually we were finally told, oh, oops, it was law enforcement accidentally left it there. And I believe the story back then in the first few weeks of this terrible tragedy was that canines were using one of Nancy's shirts, obviously to get the scent and then try to follow the scent. And then they may have just left that there and then accidentally left and packed up and left Nancy's shirt on the front sidewalk. They got wise to it quickly and collected it and took it away, but not before pictures captured that blue shirt sitting there. So there's an image showing that blue shirt. Again, this is just in the first few days because that's how long that shirt was there, just the first few days. And if you look at the track marks in the driveway, at first glance you might think those are tire tracks, but then if you look real closely, they're too narrow. They look like they are not tire tracks because tire tracks would be farther apart. So these tracks were in that driveway in those first few days. They weren't made by all the different vehicles that rolled in, the flower delivery and the contract, the pool cleaner and all the other people who have shown up since. But they were there. And so it begs the question, have the police considered what those tracks were made by? I can think, for one, when the police showed up on Feb 1 to do their initial investigation and then suddenly said, holy shit, something big happened, there's blood, and they called in the homicide unit, that it's possible maybe a CSI team had a trolley of gear that they wanted to take into that home. Maybe.
Like I say, I got what Daphne up there, I didn't get what I thought she was doing correctly. All right, so I apologize to her on another show, but I don't know if she ever saw that.
The FBI did in the first day, again, second day. The second day, the FBI showed up on the second day. But the Pima County Homicide Division was there on day one, on Feb 1. So maybe they had a trolley that they dragged along the driveway to bring in to the front door, or maybe to the back, or to the garage. Because it looks like kind of trolley wheels, equipment trolley wheels. But there's another possibility. What if, I don't know about you, but I have two large garbage cans that are on wheels. One is for garbage and the other is for recycle, not unlike most of America. And when you tilt them down and you drag them on those wheels, that's about the width. What if the perpetrator used one of maybe Nancy's garbage cans, if she has them, I can assume she does, I don't know, to drag Nancy to a vehicle down that driveway? It's possible. Is it something that the police are considering? I think I would make the blood spatter. Have they already considered it and ruled it out? Are the garbage cans still there? Did she have them? That I know the family would know if she's got these, garbage cans. But it's a fascinating aspect of the investigation that I know many of you have discussed, but I just don't know where the police are with that and if they've considered whether.
Yeah, I don't think that's something that's. I mean, it seems like you got expirated blood and then droplets going like that. It'd be hard to do that if you were being wheeled away in a garbage can or something.
Did those garbage cans have any evidence inside them? Did they even look? Because my God, that scene was processed fast and released.
I don't have an email from you, Big Darren.
Me too.
So
released. Did the FBI then afterwards take a gander, take a look at garbage cans? If they're still there, is there any evidence inside them? I don't know. But it's just a very, very astute observation from a lot of eagle-eyed sleuthers who have seen things and dated them based on the blue shirt. So that's where things stand. I had so many questions.
Yeah, I mean, I have images from the first day that show these. There is tracks right there, like vehicle tracks, it looked like.
Specifically about the comments made by Sheriff Nanos that he seems to know what the motive is, at least from his words, that he seems to know why this person did this. We believe we know why he did this. I'm quoting his words, not mine. We believe we know why he did this, and we believe that it was targeted. I think it's come out from day one. I think from day one, we had strong beliefs about what happened, and those beliefs haven't diminished, the sheriff says. What the actual F, right? Because those are statements that are strident. But that's where things stand on day 41. I want to remind you of a date that just I can't shake, and it's day 47. We are 6 days away from day 47 in this case, and the reason I find day 47 important is because it's my benchmark of when they caught Brian Kohberger, right? On day 41 of Brian Kohberger, we all felt in the dark too. We weren't. They knew who they were after, and they were chasing him. But the rest of us in the public thought, are they ever going to find anybody?
Well, I think she gets to have, gets interviews and sources out there. And, I just think differently about cases.
In connection with the Idaho murders. And they did on day 47. So we're 6 days away. Will it happen before then? Who knows?
How did Cindy and Daphne both get gifted memberships? That's amazing. What are the odds of that? There's got to be something going on there. Thanks, K-Me.
But every day you get closer and then beyond that date, it feels hopeless. It's not, but it feels that way. And as the updates and the leads dwindle and the coverage dwindles, which means the leads dwindle, it just gets that much more upsetting. I will continue to follow this for you, and we will do everything we can, despite the sheriff keeping it from us and making it very difficult for us to do our jobs.
Seen all those,
and as
Ellen.
I say every day,
all.
if you have any information about this monster, 1-800-CALL-FBI. Somebody knows.
They're just not related to the case.
Something. There's $1.2 million on the line for you. If you call and you help solve this case, $1.2 million. How about that?
I think I'm going to do a show with. I'm going to get with Ashleigh, do like a recorded show for my channel. I just wanted to go over all the different stuff and say what I think, and see what she thinks and about what we think and see what happens.
That's incentive. Your life is not going to change if this is your boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or pal. That guy's not going to do anything for you. There's no honor among thieves. There's no honor among people like that. But your life could change. 1.2 million ways. 1-800.
No, that's something else. All right, that was an ad. All right, well, there you go. So currently, you guys, we are at an abysmal 149 when we were trying to get to 350 to be able to donate $500 to Project Cold Case. And I'm not sure what the deal is, but if you're watching and you have the ability to do a challenge of some sort, maybe we can get moving. We're just been struggling. I told you guys even after the first hour that the number we're at makes it hard to do that. But what we're trying to do is bring in 350, and then I'll donate 500. What's interesting? 5 What's interesting? What are you talking about? I think she still gets a lot of good stuff, but I think there's just so much information coming in. You know, it's the interpretation that isn't really. I think it's just. I throw stuff aside quick. You know, like I just go, yeah. I mean, I just think there's one killer, one person here. There isn't, there's no garbage can being used. They literally went in the house and had her walk out the front door. There was no burrito, none of that. I mean, I think she's similar to a lot of the other people that do the reporting on these cases. I just have, I'm just more, I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't even entertain certain things. Well, I'm going to be doing an interview with her, Lisa, so you're going to have to watch. Let's see. Yeah. So does anybody hear what I was saying about what we're trying to get done here tonight? Seems like it just falls on the most deaf ears I've ever seen. We're trying to get 350 in here so that I can donate 500 to a true crime related charity. Seems like it has had zero effect on anybody when I'm telling this. So I'm not sure what I can do. I don't know what that means. Go skiing. I don't know. God, unreal. I hope people aren't sending. We've already got that, Beverly. That's not the inside of the house. That's exactly what I was just telling you. I have the outside measurements of the house. So I'm looking for, if you have the floor plan, that would be great. Darren, I don't have your email. You're going to have to try a different method of some sort. You didn't send it to me. It's not even in the spam or anything. So it didn't work. Right. So shouldn't my channel be able to be supported tonight, you guys? Because of what, KMTX just said, and everybody says, oh yeah, Gray, you put it all together. I can't even get where we get the 350 in here so we can donate the 500. It's crazy. I mean, it's just absolutely should be simple to do. Guess I have to get into the conspiracy mode and everybody be excited. I don't know. Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, I don't have anything from you, man. You're not sending the right email, okay? You're just not sending it correctly, Darren. All right, we got hey, look at that. Marty's Bar and Grill. We've got a challenge. He says, I will send $50 in basically, coffees, which is the same, if you guys send in 10 channel memberships. All right, so we got one from Wild Bill Wassman, who's out there helping out. We just seem like it's very hard to get anybody else to do this. So if we can get, and again, here's Alley Cake again. How about the rest of you guys? We're all part of the same team here, so let's try to have more of a democratic approach to trying to reach this goal here. Yeah, I'm not getting anything from you. There's no emails coming from you. Sorry. Why don't you send it to this one instead? Okay, I'll try this one later. All right. So if you're still, what is it? Big Darren. I just gave you a different email address. Try that one. I hardly ever look at that one. All right, we got Wild Bill Wassman and Allie Cake and Miss Kyla. We need 7 more. And that'll get us to like 189 or something. Or I guess 2 something. All right. Thank you, Marty. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm probably an unusual YouTuber because I don't do the conspiracies and get excited about stuff that just isn't really excited. I don't get excited about it. You know, like I just go, you know. It's just the way it is. Yeah, why don't you join in, Cindy? You can be 5, right? You got a free membership out of it, you know? Let's see. Oh, it's a new challenge I just invented. If a freak sends in a funny super chat that makes me laugh, I will match any amount up to 20. All right, there's one from Jim Lawn. If you send in a joke, and your super chat can be at any amount, and he laughs at it, he'll match it. All right, but I have to read it. Hey, look at that. We got Carol Silva. Very cool. 2, 3, 4. We just need 1 more, Cindy. You can do it. Let's see. Get that one in there. And then Carol Silva. I think that gets to 9, right? All right. Yeah, so there you go, Cindy. You can be the final one, Cindy. You can do it. Yeah, look, it's not making the sounds anymore. I'm not sure why the audio doesn't transfer over. Let's see what happens if I do... Right, you can be number 10, right, Cindy? Yeah, we need 1 more. 1 more in that batch, you know, that'll get us to 200, I think. Well, not even that. Yeah, we were at what were we at before? 149. Well, it should get close to that. 151. So 190. Hello, you guys. We need 1 more. We got Wild Bill Wassman. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we had Allie Cake, Miss Kyla, KMTX, Carol Silva did 5, and we're waiting for the 10th. Okay. And then there's Carol Silva again because everybody else couldn't be bothered. All right, let's see. Get that in there. And then we had, look at 2 of you did that, so that helps us out though. South Texas Guy. And then we also had Roger Smith. A very unusual name. I think that's the name I would use if I was just trying to come up with a generic name. Or maybe John Smith, I guess, is probably more likely. I'd say Jim Smith. So what are we at here? 150, 160, 70. We are at 209 right now. 209. All right. So we're trying to get to 350. Then we'll donate the 500. But anyways, I'm gonna go use the restroom really quick, and then we're gonna move on to something else. Oh wait, here's one. Here's a joke for you. Here we go. By Sarge Donald, USMC. Thank you for your service, by the way. A skeleton walked into a bar and ordered a beer and a mop. Come on! That's pretty damn funny right there. You know, because when you drink the beer, it just runs down your bones and you need the mop to clean it up, right? There you go, all right? Come on, let's do that again. A skeleton walked into a bar and ordered a beer and a mop. Come on, you had to have laughed at that one, Jim. There's no way you didn't laugh at that one. Come on. That was pretty good, all right? Let's be honest. A skeleton walked into a bar and ordered a beer and a mop. All right. Okay, good. Hey, look at Jim. He laughed. You should have put your own joke in there, Jim. What's yours? Yeah. That actually was pretty good. I gotta be honest. First, I was like, "What do you mean?" Oh, I get it. Yeah. When I was younger, I wouldn't even laugh at jokes. I was so proud that I understood it. Well, you know, often I'd find myself looking at everybody else laughing and wonder what the hell the joke was, you know? But when I finally started getting the jokes, then I was just so proud to understand it. But now I have the luxury of laughing just getting it, you know? Yep. Yeah, I'm sure he has a joke or two, for sure. All right, what are we at now? 120. Wait, I don't know, like 280 or so. So I guess we're about 70 short now. If we get another challenge or so, maybe if we had a challenge the size of the one that Marty just did again, we'd be pretty close. We'd be at yeah, we'd be getting really close, I think. Yeah, that's all Jim is doing. Him and his iguana. Yeah. Anyways, I'll be back in just a second. All right. What's the look at. Hey! Wow, Lisa Valenzuela is doing one of those. Thank you. She's doing the exact same thing that Marty did. So if we get 10 gifted, it could be memberships or even just super chats, equivalent to, I guess if we get up to $50 total, then she could do that. So that's Alley Cake right there. Did what was the joke? Oh, I got to put Sarge in there. Yeah. All right, so we need 9 more of those, and that would get us to, not sure. Let's see. 9 more would be, I think we'd be pretty close. Probably need a few more after that, but not too bad. Anyways, I'm going to move on to something else. I don't really have any, I don't think there's garbage cans being used to move anybody around. There are tire tracks, but I think that's exactly what a car would do if you were dropping somebody off that night. There'd be tire tracks there, and then you'd have something. Whoa, look at that. She Fell in Love did 5 of those. That's pretty amazing. And Miss Kyla again. Thank you. She Fell in Love. Oh, She Fell in Love. You get it? Man, that's like a cool name. It's an awesome sort of double entendre true crime name. Like She Fell in Love, but she fell in love. You get it? It's pretty good. See that one right there? What are we looking at? Oh. Great to support the challenge by Lisa. Oh, well, thank you. That was very nice of you. All right, but we need 1, 2, we need, oh, is that part of it? That was part of that then. Okay. 5, 6, 7. Do we still need 3? I guess that's her challenge. Well, I think that's just the extra on the side. So we still need 3 more on this right here. You guys. We still need 3 more gifted memberships here, and then we'll see where we're at in the totals. I'll look at it after that. So let's see if we can get 3 more. Yeah, hit that like button too, you guys. Pretty easy to do. We only got 169 likes. Pretty ridiculous with 194 people watching. So here we go. Hit that like button 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button 40. It's one of the easiest damn things to do in the world. Use your nose, use your toes, whatever blows, but just hit that damn like button. Thank you very much. Let's try to get to 200. It's so damn simple. Just hit the like button. It's almost unbelievable how easy it is. Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. Yeah, we do need more jokes. That was pretty good. I like that one. I like that challenge by Jim. You have to send it in, though, and he has to laugh. All right, so we need 2 more of those, you guys. Let's see. Is it just, what do we got? 1, 6, 7, 8. We've only got 8, Daphne. So we need 2 more. Or 1 more. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 7, 8. We've got 8. 1, 2, 7, 8. Yeah, we need 2 more. You guys typing in 8, 9, that stuff doesn't work. Just don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. I like that one. It is a good challenge because it makes people laugh too. All right, let me get this her face off the screen. She was found. I guess I don't really have anything to put there currently, so we'll just have to have it blank. My face is on the screen. It's just being blocked. Hey Lolo, don't worry about what's going on the show, okay? Thanks. What's an iguana's favorite ice cream? A lizard chip? What? I've never even heard of a lizard chip. See, that's what I'm saying, Cindy. Just let me do the show the way I want to do it. You don't need to ask about what I've covered and all this stuff. Just be here. Whatever I talk about, we talk about. You don't need to. That's the part that always frustrates me, okay? So just don't make your observational comments about what we've discussed or things like that. Just talk about the cases. All right. Let's see. So we've got... I mean, that happened to be the next thing that I was going to over, but whenever you do that, it just drives me nuts. I've told you that. It's crazy. What is this thing? Oh, that's what I did. I should have just opened it up. All right, this is what I was trying to get. All right, so we're gonna... Here is the update on... Man, what in the hell's going on? Right here. There we go. All right, but we still need 2 more gifted memberships, you guys. Awesome. So here we go. So in this one, I think Lisa Valenzuela sent it to me. It said retired Air Force Major General William Neal McCaslin vanished within 1 hour window. So he vanished within a 1 hour window. So they must have something that they know, you know, he was here and then wasn't there at a specific time frame. So they must, you know, somebody must have like seen him and then he just wasn't around anymore. So somehow there's other proof. So there's a 1 hour window. Within a 1 hour window while his wife was out for an appointment. So maybe that's the 1 hour. Leaving behind his phone and glasses. While a gun and his wallet remain unaccounted for. See, that's interesting, right? You know, his gun, and why would his gun be missing? This is sort of starting to remind me of one of those cases we did a long time ago. But hey, Cindy, it doesn't mean you can't comment. What I'm just talking about your, you know, you do the same thing Elena does all the time. You're always commenting on the structure or something related to the show that somebody else is, you know, it has nothing to do with you. I just do my show the way I do it, you know. We hadn't got to this part yet. So just comment about what we're talking about. But hey, you guys, we just need to get those other 2 memberships, and then we'll see where we're at, okay? Shouldn't be too difficult. All right, anyways, while a gun and his wallet remain unaccounted for, according to authorities in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office released a new timeline Thursday evening describing the 68-year-old aerospace engineer last known movement nearly 2 weeks after his disappearance and after the FBI joined the search effort. He had an interaction with a home repairman, at around 10 a.m. So that's that first part right there. You see that? You guys, we need 2 more gifted memberships. to reach that goal that I think gets us to the point where we'll donate the $500. All right, so if you're out there, if you could please do that, that would be great. Thank you. Real simple stuff. He had an interaction with a home repairman around 10 a.m. on February 27th. And so we have that in here. Yeah, right here. Missing Major General William McCaslin. Yeah, so I don't know if he's a repairman at his home. I mean, it's kind of an odd thing to have come over to your home if you're, you know, about to go take your life or something. I mean, the missing gun is pretty, you know, sort of interesting, isn't it? I think I'm just going to pause the show until we reach this miniature goal here. All right. So we're going to have to get those last 2 gifted memberships, and we'll see if we can get there. Maybe if I throw myself in prison, would that work? All right. I'll stick myself in prison. We'll see if that has any luck. I don't know where what happened to the screen. Shoot. Well, there's one by Sandy Shirley. It's like it's just everybody else just went, yeah, forget it. It was amazing. We were just on the cusp. You know. So there's Sandy Shirley. We just need one more. All right, there we go. And there's Miss Kyla yet again. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for your generosity. It's not as common as it used to be. All right. Let me see if I can get the... I'm not sure what happened to my... I'm a little nervous that if I go into the studio, it's going to double up the audio again. So I think I'm just going to... Shoot. God, it's frustrating. It's not there. Oh, I do have it. I do have it. Okay, there it is. Good. Let me get rid of that. I just found my studio. It was in this. There we go. Ah, man, that made me nervous. All right, there you go. So let's see. Where does that put us? 220, 279. All right, I think that's going to do it. So here's one that we haven't donated to before right here. All right, on YouTube we didn't make the 350, but with the coffees, I'll add that in there. All right, so here we go. Let me open up another page because it's hard to get, it takes a long time to load up all these images here. All right, so let's use this one. Join our celebration and donate today. Here we go. I hope that you don't just have to, if you could only do, okay, one-time custom donation. I'm going to have to get my wallet and stuff. Okay, 500. All right, I'm going to have to do it on the side. Hold on a second. Yeah, so a lot of times they have PayPal, but they don't have it. So I'm going to have to fill this sucker out. So hold on. And thanks for reaching there, you guys, for all those who helped out. Very cool. Sorry it was such a struggle tonight. But, last night was a cool show because it was smooth. I really didn't ask anything. I mean, just a couple times it seemed like the whole show. Today was just a grind. Okay, well, how come they don't give you, like, it's not going to send, oh, there's my email there. Okay, good. I got to get my proof. All right, let's see what happens. Here we go. All right. It does say on this page, it said, "Thank you for your donation. We want to express our heartfelt appreciation for your generous donation. Your contributions significantly boost our effort to help families that have lost loved ones to unsolved homicides. At Project Cold Case, we are committed to providing support and resources to these families during their time of need. We believe that every victim deserves justice, and we work tirelessly to ensure that these cases are not forgotten. With your donation, we can continue to offer critical services and programs that help families cope with their loss and work towards resolution." Hey, thanks. Gina Burka, 110 something. A lot of numbers. Or not a lot of numbers, but just hard to say that one. Thanks for your support and for believing in our mission. Your generosity will make a meaningful difference in the lives of families we serve. All right, so let's see if it came in, because I did put an email in there. I don't see it in there currently yet. And thanks Lisa Valenzuela and Marty. Very cool. So I guess when it comes in, I'll be able to see it. That's why PayPal is good, because it comes right away. But All right. Well, there you go. Thanks, freaks. Okay, yeah, so it was a one-timer. Just want to make sure. All right. So let's see. We got to change our numbers now. All right. So here's our main numbers over here. We've got. We're at $289,612 is what we'd be at now. So $289,612. And then this year so far, we are at 9,500. Right there. All right. There you go, freaks. We're keep moving forward. Thank you for those who wanted to help, and we got to the 350 to do the 500. Well, thank you, Marty, as well. Everybody, you guys are, Wild Bill Wassman. Been a lot of, everybody in here tonight. Miss Kyla's done a few. Alley Cake, Jim Lawn, of course. All of you guys. I mean, I'll thank everybody at the end, but just saying. All right, so back to what we were just talking about here. So this is the general is missing. Right here, right? He is described as 5 feet 11, with white hair and blue eyes, and is believed to have left his residence on foot. He is an avid outdoorsman and is known to often hike, run, and cycle in the Northeast Heights and the Sandia foothills. I guess we should put, let's see where that is. I think those are probably right at his house, wouldn't you think? Have you been following this one, Cindy? Yeah, that's funny. This is right where I was thinking. I have this circled area here where I think he may have went. But let's just put it over here. This is his Sandia foothills. Oh, you can't see. Sorry about that. Let's just go to the full monitor. He lives right over here. Not there. That was where Timothy Busfield lived. Isn't that weird? He lives right near that guy. But he lived way up here, like on the side of the highway that leads into the mountains. So he liked to go up here. Let's see. What was this called again? Oh yeah, Sandia Foothills. So this is stuff we haven't had, some of this stuff. Okay, then what was the other place? That was Northeast Heights. Let's see where that is. It's Heights. I don't know. Maybe it's right here. Here's High Desert. Oh, from the High Desert in the great American Southwest. I bid you all good evening, or good morning as the case may be. What the heck? Where were you earlier, Shinobi Business? Come on. Yeah. Hey, thank you, man. That was really cool. To be honest, I don't know what the gender of Shinobi Business is. I have no idea. Shinobi Business. And then we also had Kim Not Your Cup of Tea, Oogla Boogla Freak. Yeah, where is this this place here? Does anybody know where you might be able to look that up? Where Northeast Heights, or run and cycle in the Northeast Heights. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure where the Northeast Heights are though. I guess that's the problem. Doesn't seem to be called that. Well, this says Sandia Heights South. Where would northeast would be, like up here then, right? That says Sandia Heights. Well, maybe that's what he's talking about. Sandia Heights North. So let's just say that is what he's referring to. Sandia Heights North. Hey, thanks, Shinobi Business. Okay, so you had, it's right around the area. Look at, I thought up here, this is Sandia Mountain Wilderness. I just drew that there because it's just so close to his house, and there's these trails that go. Look at all these trails, you guys. I mean, and there's even a place to park your car at a trailhead here and then go up these trails. That's the thing, and they look like this, you know. So I wouldn't be surprised, you know, the fact that his gun is missing, He may have done something to himself, you know. It wouldn't shock me at all. In fact, it reminds me of this. So let's talk about this one for a minute. Remember this case that we did? We were the ones that solved, we paid for solving this one. This is the Summit County John Doe in 2016, and it was in Colorado. And it says, after almost 2 years of investigative genetic genealogy, the DNA Doe Project, and the Summit County Coroner's Office. Here, we could actually, I think I have it in here somewhere. Let's see, peak 6. Let me just do that, just peak. Okay, how many? All right, right there. It's in Peak 6, Breckenridge. So here we go. We're going to go over to that. See that? Look at that mountain range here. And what happened was, I guess apparently this guy killed himself up here, and then his head and skeleton kind of went down the mountain over here. Maybe it could have been right over here, actually. I think it was right there, and it went. It's so steep that it came down here, and then they went up here, and they found like a campsite up here of a guy. And so this says, in July of 2016, hikers discovered a human skull in a heavily wooded area just outside of the Y Avalanche Chute near Copper Mountain, Summit County, Colorado. Nearly a month later, searchers found additional skeletal remains and personal items nearby. And it was all interesting stuff. He ground. Remember that he had a gun, and he ground down the serial number to a point where the FBI wasn't able to determine what it said. So this guy, you know, they found additional skeletal remains and personal items nearby. A forensic pathologist determined the remains to be that of a white male between 30 and 50 years old with strawberry blonde hair. Damage to the skull was consistent with a self-inflicted gunshot to the head from a Glock 45 handgun found near the remains. Items found with the body included a backpack with high-end hiking gear and clothing, but no form of identification of any kind. In fact, here he goes, the serial number on the firearm had been intentionally destroyed with a metal punch. A bottle water, and probably a water bottle, and a tube of Blistex with a manufacture date of 2012 indicated the man most likely died in 2012. So this is 2016. You guys should actually pay attention to this story. It's pretty interesting. Our dedicated team built a research tree made from distant cousins that led us into Norway. I mean, they went all the way over Norway, Sweden, and Poland. They were actually got a hold of Interpol. They thought it was some bigger deal. None of the DNA matches shared any common ancestors, which made our hunt that much more difficult, said team leader Missy Koski. We knew we had found the right man in our tree when the old-fashioned Y-DNA research was combined with some new-fashioned research using DNA segment tools. This combination led our team to determine that we should be looking for a man with a Scandinavian father and a West Slavic mother. The DNA Doe Project wishes to acknowledge the contributions of the groups and individuals who helped solve this case. The Summit County Coroner's Office, who entrusted the case to the DNA Doe Project, International Commission of Missing Persons for Extraction of DNA, Hudson Alpha Discovery for Sequencing. I remember they used to use that over at the Identifinders. Kevin Lord, Sabre Investigation of Bioinformatic, GEDmatch Pro, and FT Family Tree DNA for providing their databases. The producers and followers of Gray Hughes Investigates, our generous donors who support our work, and DTP dedicated teams of volunteers, investigative genetic genealogy who work tirelessly to bring victims home. So can we get a boom? There we go, you guys. That's our the stuff that we do, and the reason, like every single night, I try to, I want to keep being able to do the show, so obviously I make an income, but I try to bring in extra funds so that we can donate thousands of dollars to stuff like this. Obviously, you guys weren't paying attention, but that's cool. That's why it's crazy. Well, is it right over here? I wonder if one of these has some of the pictures that they used to have. It looks like they're all shut down. I have a folder somewhere that has all the items that were found, but I thought that was pretty cool. So could it be something like that? This guy literally went to the top of a mountain somewhere. He went way up here and took great lengths to have him not identified, and that's where he took his life. So then you sort of wonder, is there a possibility that that's what this guy's doing, because he took a gun with him and he left his wallet at home, almost like he doesn't want to be identified. It's interesting. Why would he do that? Or he took his wallet with him, right? Wait, what did he take with him now? Now I can't remember what we had. Hold on. He went hiking boots and a .38 caliber revolver are unaccounted for. So his wallet. So he does have his wallet with him. So he's not looking not to be identified. I wonder why he took the .38 caliber. Maybe if that is his account on Twitter, that he's paranoid about that. Now, what are you talking about, Chief Ellen? Are you talking about what we're talking about, or? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. The tote case. Okay, well, just send me a link to it, the one you're talking about. We just covered one out of Ohio where there was 2 girls found in suitcases buried next to a school by their mother. That's also in Ohio. So instead of, talking about it in chat, why don't you send me the email, and then I'll look into it myself at a different time. All right, there's my email right there. All right, you got it? Yeah, he left his phone at home. He took his wallet with him now. So it's like he doesn't want to be tracked. So did he go somewhere first where... I don't know, it's weird. I mean, he could easily just bury the wallet, but he didn't want the phone to track him. And his wallet he could just bury somewhere out there, and then he's just left with his gun at that point and hiking boots. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's exactly what I was thinking right off the shoot. I mean, right out of the gate. Where the heck is it? Oh, way up here. Right there. Sandia Foothills. And he lives here. And he easily could just be way up here somewhere. And he just went off, and I don't know. That's what it feels like. Right? What do you guys think of that? Do you think it's more complicated than that? Or, I mean, it just, he had some sort of problems, too. I mean, physically or, health issues. My first thought, that's why I circled this area, is maybe he's up in there. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. What do you think? You guys even here? Hello? We need more comments. Now, that doesn't mean that, Lisa. If he buried the wallet, like I said, then he's not leaving anybody to identify him. Well, how do you know he has a burner phone, Ann? Where does it say that? Jesus. Did you just invent that? Where does it say anything about a burner phone? And this guy reminds me of the case that we just covered a minute ago. Let's not invent stuff just to make it more sensationalistic, you guys. The facts that we have right now, well, no, you don't know if he would use one or not. The facts we have right now is that this guy, he took off with his wallet and a gun, but he didn't bring his phone or anything like that. So he didn't want to be tracked, but yeah, maybe like what Lisa said, when they found him, if he had his wallet, they could at least identify him. It's all, you know. So to me, it's most likely at this point, just given that information, you know. But I mean, remember though, it's kind of weird because the one case that he brought up in that Twitter account, if that's him, you know, he stopped posting on that Twitter account on the 27th, but anybody else could have just deleted all their posts after the 27th to make it look like that was him. But if we believe that, though, I guess, you know, in there he said that this other person who they said took his own life was actually killed because he had information. Well, a private company tried to get him to give them nuclear material, and then he reported it, and then maybe he was killed by the private party so that he wouldn't tell other people, and then this guy is saying the same stuff, so then maybe they went after him. And so maybe took off with the gun with you know, to use for protection, and then he has a wallet so that he can buy certain things. But I mean, that's going to say where he's at too, right? You know, so leaving the phone at home seems kind of odd. Maybe he would do that. We just don't know. I don't know. Does it say glasses in here? I didn't see that. Oh, up there, yeah. Phone and glasses. That is kind of weird. The glasses. I guess if you want to look at this in a nefarious angle, you could think that he actually was abducted, and they actually took his gun to use, you know, because it's his, and that doesn't point to them. They could use his gun, and then the wallet may have just been like in his pocket already, you know. The glasses is kind of concerning if he didn't have another pair, you know. I mean, you'd think like, I mean, I wouldn't think they would mention it if he had multiple pairs of glasses. I mean, do you ever take off with 3 pairs of glasses on a hike? So they must be saying it for a reason. Oh, there's Shirley and Sandy Wills. There you go. For a person of high intelligence, the fear of memory or intellectual loss would be terrifying. Yeah, that's kind of weird. You know, like my mom can't remember hardly anything anymore. Short term, anyways. So it's sort of, I mean, it's weird. You don't even know that you don't remember. People just say, you just said that. And then you go, no, I didn't. But you did. You said it 14 times in a row, as a matter of fact. When I repeat myself, I actually remember that I was just saying it. I mean, not just saying it. Like, there's certain things that I repeat on the show from the past because they're specific incidents. So far. Maybe one day I'll be more like her, No, that's your opinion, Lisa. I think the glasses are actually more interesting. Because if those are his only pair of glasses, there's no way in hell he's going to go hiking or walking around with no glasses. Sometimes phones are cumbersome, The only reason, when I do my walking, the only reason I bring my phone is because I like to listen with my ear pods to like a podcast or something. Other than that, I wouldn't even take it. Yeah, no, I don't think the phone's the most interesting part. It's part of it, like it's another element, They go to wherever I want them to go, Sarge. I'm just kidding. We sent them to a whole bunch of different true crime charities. What do you mean? We already weren't you here a minute ago when we just sent it off? Yeah, I mean, the channel, I don't, my channel makes an income too. I donate generally, like tonight was a different kind of night where we just sort of made an effort to donate to one place $500, right? And you guys sent in 300 and something. But I try to donate around like 30 to 35% of the gross income. And last month we donated $5,000 total, even though that was more than 30%. And then, I get taxed on all the rest. Yeah, like we donated last year $48,000, and I try to on my channel. I wish it wasn't where I have to ask all the time, like, hey guys, can you help support? That'd be great. I wish I had 27,000 people watching, and I wouldn't even need to ask at all because the ad revenue would be enough where it just wouldn't make a difference. And so that's just the whole thing is. It's kind of a chicken or the egg. I don't know how to make things happen without the people watching supporting the channel. Ad revenue only works when you get tens of thousands of views. And, sometimes when I make videos, they get a lot of views. But in this case, there's just a few channels that have sort of taken over YouTube's algorithm. So it's hard for anybody else's videos to get viewed at all. It's crazy. The News Nation and the live streamers, I mean, you can't even, it's just difficult, I don't know what that means, Bengal. What does that even mean? I don't know what that means, man. That doesn't make sense. What about using an affiliate link for DNA places? What? Let's see. Yeah, I have tons of expenses. I have $1,500. It's almost $1,800 now for 3D Studio Max a year. $1,800 a year, and then I have tons of different services. I don't want to do something like that. That's crazy. I wouldn't want to. I just want to do it the way we do it, Bengal Cat. Yeah, I don't need. That sounds less good. Why would I want to get if somebody's out there sending money to a charity, I don't want to have a portion of it. My channel just brings in money from ad revenue, etc., and then I donate a large portion. So it's sort of a bulk effect. And, you know, when the channel does better, the better the donations are. You know, that's just the way it is. Yeah, I like Nick Mac. I think this one that we just did today is pretty good. Oh, you mean just a DNA? It's not just like a 23andMe or something. The other channels were only showing a guy standing in the street. Not sure what that means. Yeah, I just said that, Bango. I just said that. I don't know. It just never seems to work, that kind of stuff. It doesn't. None of it ever adds up. I've tried all these different things, you know. Even in I used to have like affiliate links for Amazon and the stuff that I use, and not a soul ever purchased anything. And it's just... Anyways, so I guess the phone and the... yeah, we have our own DNA fund that we've put over 100,000 in. I bet it's like 115 now. Disappeared while his wife was out. Phone and glasses left behind. Leaving behind his phone and glasses, while a gun and his wallet remain. See, that's sort of weird, right? Because that almost seems like a robbery. You know, if you just went like this. Oh, wow, his phone and glasses are left behind, but then a gun and his wallet are missing. You know? I mean, it's weird. Normally, you would see, oh, he left with his phone and glasses. Instead, he left with a gun and his wallet. I don't know. That's weird. Let's see. While his wife was out, his phone, glasses, and wearable devices were found in the home, like his watch probably then. Wow, so it was his phone, glasses, his wearable watches, you know. And probably, you know, a lot of times you need your phone for some of that to work, but his wallet, hiking boots, and a .38 caliber revolver are unaccounted for. Man, that's crazy. That just seems like he is... That right there makes it sound like he got his hiking boots on, he took his wallet to be identified, and a revolver. Why he didn't take his glasses, I don't know. He could have had another pair, but it seems like, why would you mention it if that's a thing? That's an obvious thought that people would have. Oh, cool, yeah. Yeah, they're just sitting there staring at the house 24/7. It's crazy. Like, they just all waiting for... See, here's what it is. You sit in front of the house. Not only that, people just watch because you're sitting in front of the house. And then it's all just waiting for the one time a car pulls up that you can turn it into gold. You know, it's this huge story. Once the car pulls up, oh my God, everybody, there's a white car pulling up. What does it mean? What can we glean from this? I don't know. You don't think the glasses missing are weird too, Lisa? Come on. I mean, the phone is, you know, obviously he's leaving the phone at home, but, you know, sometimes, I mean, you'd think you would bring it with you hiking in case something happened. You'd want to call somebody, right? But if you don't want to be tracked, you'd leave it at home. And then you say, well, he didn't bring his, the glasses to me is the weirdest thing. Literally, if he does not have another pair of glasses, It's the weirdest part because you're not going to be able to see very well. Now, it depends. I guess if he's farsighted, he might not need it to go hiking, you know. I guess that would sort of depend on that. But, I mean, at the same time, wouldn't you just bring them with you just in case? Like you might need to read something or, you know, put them in your pocket. Who is? Talking to me? Let's see. Didn't remember the sister. The handyman? Who are you talking about? Shinobi business? Ding, 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 ding. Didn't remember the sister. We're a 2-cat household. Or maybe you're on rewind or something. You talking to me? No, I'm talking to Shinobi Business said. You don't see anyone else? Who? I don't know what you're talking about. I just don't know who Shinobi Business is referring to because there's no context. I don't even know what you're talking about, Bengal. Who are you talking to? Man, you guys. What movie are you guys talking about? You guys are just all over the place, man. Man, I'm just totally lost on what you guys are referring to. Jesus. I mean, maybe they're just talking about these glasses and they're not really, he has another pair for just, these look like they're sunglasses. I don't know. Alright, well anyways, that's all I got. I don't know anything else to say about that one. I have no idea what you guys are talking about, though. It doesn't make any sense. Alright, let's try it. Let's find one of these. Got to do one of these tonight. Hey, we got the skipper from Gilligan's Island. Cindy and, I can't remember who's skipper. Oh yeah, I think skipper is Daphne. But here you go, right there. Guy Carruthers, Jacksonville, Florida, 1945. Yeah, maybe they're the kind that adjust. Who knows? It doesn't seem like that would be the only one that you'd have. I don't know why. That's just funny looking to me. Big smile. I think some of these are some of the pages I haven't gotten to at some point. Go ahead and this one. Barbara Jean Robelen. Do I have that? Robolin. Doesn't look like it. Let's see if it shows up. It is Florida, so you don't, normally it sucks. What are they censoring? What are you typing in, Shinobi Business, that they're censoring? Yeah, it could be anything. It's just, all they're saying is he's missing, like, glasses. I mean, the glasses were left at home. He only has with him hiking boots, a .38 caliber, and his wallet. That sounds like somebody that might be doing something to themselves. However, you would think he would bring his glasses so he could see where he's going. Now, you might think he has another pair, but why the hell would they mention that if he has another pair, you know? Let's see, Barbara Jean Robelen. You guys said I got to do one of these cold cases every single night. So this is tonight's. Let's see. We're trying to find one that has information. Hey, looks like this one did have something. Let's see. New folder. Barbara Jean Robelen. 1978. Got that one in there. And apparently this happened October 23rd. So let's type in October 1978. Alright. So this is 25th, here's the 23rd even. Have we done this one? She worked at a 7-Eleven store. Let me put this over here. This one, it's possible we've done this one, but I don't have it in here, so. It's probably just like a shooting, I'm guessing. A 37-year-old convenience store clerk was reported, she was missing early today from that's weirder then, a 7-Eleven store on Experimental Farm Road. And so we should be able to get that. How much, what do you guys think the odds of it still being there are? Man, I was born way before you, man. Experimental Mental Farm Road. Yeah, there it is right there. And do you guys think the 7-Eleven's still there? In US 41. All right, here we go. I bet you it's going to still be there. 7-Elevens never leave, man. They never go. I bet you that's it right there. How much you want to bet? Come on. Gonna pan over, and oh, it's still a 7-Eleven. I told you, man. I told you. Yep. 1978. So this is the 7-Eleven. Man, you guys are as fun as a pile of bricks. Hello, you guys. Hello. Hello. You following along? Ah, shit. Yeah, I don't think they didn't send me my email from them. I'm gonna have to send them an email. I didn't get the email back from Project Cold Case. None of you even responded to it when I said, do you think the 7-Eleven will still be there? Not one of you. And there it was. Right now, we don't know if it's a robbery type abduction or just a missing person, said Lieutenant Mike Cleggs of Criminal Investigation Bureau. Barbara Jean Robelen of Skyway Village was last seen in the store by a customer at about 2:30 a.m., according to police. So she just lived right here. I mean, she lived in this, right next door to the 7-Eleven. She lived in Skyway Village. Still there. Another customer, Royal Watts of 1305 30th Street West, found the store unattended. So where does he live? 1305 30th Street. That's the person that just went to the... I guess it doesn't really matter where that person lives. But, well, it's pretty close to there. So they went in there at another customer, Royal Watts of 1305 30th Street was West, found the store unattended about an hour later, so at like 3:30. When store manager Jack Tuttle arrived, he found the cash register was empty. There was no sign of a struggle, police said. Police are checking the woman's neighborhood for background information. Yeah, what's going on, you guys, with the chat? Hello? Can we just, it's just bizarre, man. It's always slow. My chat is always slow in here. People have almost nothing to say. When the show's over, nobody comments underneath the comments, even though all the moderators know that making a comment means something. I show up and there's zero. The whole next day, there isn't one comment underneath the video. Isn't that weird? It's like, why should I even have to ask? It's like, come on, you guys. There's interesting stuff. You're not, though. There's like 5-minute delays in between the last comment and the next one. And you're chatting about, I don't know, forget it. It is weird. It is weird. When the store manager, Jack Tuttle, arrived, he found the cash register was empty. There was no sign of a struggle, police said. Police are checking the woman's neighborhood for background information. Robelen's husband told police his wife was in good spirits and had no problems at work. The Robelen's car was at their home. Mrs. Robelen walked to work. Yes, I just showed you how close that was. Hey, Kim. Pretty early, man. It's only 9:58. It really is a missing person as of this hour, but it doesn't rule out any other possibility either, said Sheriff John Burton. So that was the 23rd, and it looks like there's one on the 24th, the next day. Well, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. Hey, by the way, before I forget, I'll just do, well, I'll wait till the end. Yeah, So when the show's over, make sure to comment about something underneath the video. That's why there's like almost no watches later, because you guys, we're all doing it during the show, so you probably have nothing to say. But just type something in anyways. Like, something you noticed or whatever, anything. A 37-year-old convenience store clerk disappeared early Monday morning. Now, so that was, man, they did that. That got out the same day. Oh, that's wild. The last one. This is the next day. A customer came in the store at 3 a.m. and could not find a clerk. The cash register was open and all the money taken, except for 5 dimes, 2 nickels, and food coupons. Detectives who talked with Mrs. Robelen's husband said she walks to work from her home on in Skyway Village, and that she was in a good mood when she left for work. The Robelens have 1 child. Mrs. Robelen was last seen wearing a dark brown turtleneck sweater. The only reason I remember 1978 is because the Portland Trailblazers were one of the best teams that's ever been assembled or just ever played basketball. In 1978, the year after they won the championship, and then Bill Walton broke his foot. They were 50-10, just smoked everybody. Easy. They just played such a great style. Watched all the games. No, she didn't take the money and ran. Random bogey. You know what's weird about you, random bogey, is you're never correct on anything. One of these days, maybe, though. Maybe one of these days. Detectives who talked with Miss Robelen's husband said she walks to work. Miss Robelen was last seen wearing a dark brown turtleneck sweater, brown check pants, and the red and white jacket that belongs to the 7-Eleven organization. She's 5'11" and weighs 125 pounds. A missing person, possibly abduction report was entered into state national computer, which goes to all law enforcement agencies. All right, here's the next day, the 25th. See if there's anything else. Store clerk still missing. A convenience store. This is Wednesday now. Clerk discovered missing early Monday morning, had not been heard from or returned home Tuesday. Jean Robelen, 37, abducted, or if she disappeared by herself. Yeah, so that's what Random Bogey's saying. It's no way, though. It was still not known if the store was robbed and Barbara Jean Robelen, 37, abducted, or if she appeared by herself, which implies that she stole it. According to reports from the investigation at a 7-Eleven store in North Palmetto, the keys to the store were in the proper place. The jacket Miss Robelen wore to work was lying on the counter. There were no signs of a struggle, and 2 fresh pots of coffee were on the coffee machine. When sheriff officers searched the store and surrounding areas, a young man hitchhiking was found asleep in a nearby Goodwill box. Lee McWilliams of Delaware said he had been in the store to buy a beer and package of tobacco and had talked with Miss Robelen for a few minutes. He later fell asleep in the Goodwill box when he couldn't get a ride and said he didn't hear anything unusual. When the sheriff department was called by a customer who couldn't find the clerk at about 3 a.m., the register was found open with all the money gone. And according to Random Bogey, she's the one that took it. All right, let's see. November. So look at, in November there was 0. Isn't that wild? Not one. Let me get rid of the middle name. See, there's still nothing, right? So then we go to, and this was in Florida. So I guess I'll put that there. Florida. All right. But if you go over here, December has some. So you scroll across, and nothing. Then right around the 26th, we see something. Oh, wow. I guess she didn't just go run off with it. The partially decomposed body of a 37-year-old Palmetto woman who had been missing for more than 2 months was found in a canal. I mean, look at another canal story. Man, that's crazy. Near Palmetto at noon Christmas Eve day. Manatee County Sheriff deputies identified the woman as Barbara Jean Robelen of Skyway Village Mobile Home Park. And so, let's see. She lived at 420. 420. 49th Street East. Oh, okay. So that's her house right there in that. So she lives right next to the. She lived in this one. All right, can we go look at it? No, it's probably locked. Yeah, you can't just drive in there, probably. Man, she lived. Look at that. That's a really quick walk to work. You guys still following along here? I don't see any comments related to it. The partially decomposed body of a 37-year-old Palmetto woman had been missing for more than 2 months was found in a canal near Palmetto at noon Christmas Eve. Manatee County Sheriff deputies identified the woman as Barbara Jean Robelen of Skyway Village. Robelen disappeared on the morning of October 23rd from the 7-Eleven store at US 41 and 49th Street East, where she worked. A customer entered the store at 3 a.m. and found the cash register open and emptied of everything except for 60 cents and several food coupons. An autopsy scheduled for today is expected to confirm suspicions that Mrs. Robelen was the victim of a robbery, murder, according to Manatee Detective Lieutenant Michael K. Cleggs. She must have known the person. Why would you do that? It's probably somebody right from her area, in her little, it would be interesting if you look up everybody that's lived in that complex and see if they've ever been charged with robbery later. Her body was found by a motorist who stopped on Canal Road near 21st Street. All right, let's get that in there. Canal Road and 21st Street. That's Canal Road. Why would it be right there? Let's see. What does it say again? Her body was found by a motorist who stopped on a canal road near 21st Street to repair a flat tire. The motorist looked into the drainage canal that runs alongside the road and saw the woman's body floating face up. Jeez. Let's just see if... Well, there you go. So he must have been right there. Wait, what road? There's Canal Road. Well, and then this is here. I wonder if there was a canal before, like a long time ago. Let's see. I'm going to go back on Google Maps and then go back. Oh, yeah. See, look at the difference back then. Canal Road and 21st Street. 21st Street. That says southeast, though. Street east. I don't want east in there. I just want street. Ah, okay. 21st Street and Canal. That says court. I bet it's just this. Well, that's weird. Because now that's not even on that. Let me go back a little bit more. 1995. 21st Street. Near 21st Street to... Yeah. So it's kind of like this says 21st Street East. Is there a different 21st Street? Let me just type that in. 21st Street. Yeah. Alright. Go back in there. See, here's 21st Street. Okay. And then Canal Road. What does that look like? So it's way over here. That's 21st Street. Just by itself. Well, it says west. Jeez. And Canal Road. What the hell is a manatee? That's basically something that looks like a hippopotamus that has not really, with sort of a weird looking fin in the back and a couple front fins, and it's a mammal, and yeah, real weird looking creature. Yeah, so apparently, I don't know if there's a right over in this area, but this is Canal Road and 21st Street. Is that what this is, right? Let's go look. Maybe if we go right there and we look off to the right, is there a little water? There's a drainage ditch or something right there. You know, they don't call it that, but... And the thing is, there is a canal over here. That's what that is. But I'm just going to have to go... I'm just going to say her body was found somewhere around in this area. All right. 21st Street to repair a flat tire. The motorist looked into the drainage canal that runs along the road and saw the woman's body floating face up. Mrs. Robelen was clothed in the same attire she wore to work. So that means she was killed that night. Or, you know, or held wearing the same clothes and killed. But either way, this wasn't something fun. Okay. The day of her disappearance, and detectives do not believe she was sexually molested, Clegg said. I think what the deal is she knew the person. And that person had to kill her to get away with the money because she knows who it was. That's the only reason you would do this. Or he lives there and he goes there a lot, you know. That's the only thing. It's got to be the truth. That this person went to that 7-Eleven a lot, and maybe he knows that she's seen him before, and maybe could identify him, because there's really no way. Who are you talking to, Debbie? Are you getting here late? Listening to you, Gray. I don't get it. The site where the body was found is about 3 miles from the 7-Eleven where she worked. Let's just see if that that kind of seemed right. Let's just do it. I bet it's 2.25 if you just go from there to here. 1.91, but driving is probably 3. At the time of Miss Robinson's disappearance, let's see, the site where the body was found is about 3 miles from the 7-Eleven where she worked as a nighttime clerk. At the time of Miss Robelen's disappearance, detectives questioned a hitchhiker found asleep in a Goodwill box near the store. The hitchhiker, identified as Lee McWilliams of Delaware, told lawmen he had been in the store earlier the night of October 23rd and had spoken with Miss Robelen. McWilliams said he purchased beer and tobacco from Miss Robelen and then left the store to continue his journey. Unable to catch a ride, he crawled into the Goodwill box and fell asleep. He told detectives he heard no unusual noises or any disturbance. Trying to make sure I have that saved. Yeah, this is just a random, interesting one. When lawmen arrived at the store the morning of October 23rd, they found everything in order. Keys hung in the proper place, 2 pots of fresh coffee simmering on hot plates, and Mrs. Robelen's jacket lying on the counter. About $100 was missing from the cash register. The detectives believe Miss Robelen was forced from the store, murdered, and dumped into the steeply banked canal. Miss Robelen is survived by her husband and 1 child. Oh, jeez. Not that, that's just... So where would the steep bank be? I think that's it. I think that's going to be it right there. I think it was more like right here, something like that. Could be right on that side too, but look how steep those banks are into that canal. That's got to be what they're talking about. Because there's nothing like that, and there never has been anything like that at Canal Road and 21st Street East right there. Yeah, he killed her for $100. $100 back then is like $500 now. So, I mean, not to say that that's a lot of money, but $100 in 1978 is about, well, let's just type it in. How much was $100 in 1978 in today's dollars? I'm going to say 541. 498. Okay. My first guess was better. The detective believed Miss Robelen was forced from the store, murdered, and dumped into the steeply banked canal. Miss Robelen is survived by her husband and 1 child. All right, let's go out here. Let's see if there's a different... See, these all look the same. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. That one's different. So let's see if they give a little better description. Robelen disappeared, so this is clerk's body found. The woman was found by a motorist on Canal Road near 21st Street. See how that's different? Yeah. Canal Road. So that's Canal Road. Well, hold on. Now I got to recheck this. Okay. That's Canal Road near... How could there be a body found on Canal Road? Is there another Canal Road up here, maybe? No. Let me just type Canal Road in here. Ah, it's going up there for some reason. Oh, that's Canal Road. Oh, well, there you go. That's absolutely... I got it right then originally. So there it is. That's 21st. This is apparently Canal Road also. I'm not sure. This is also Canal Road for some reason, but this whole highway here is... See that? Right there? Canal Road. It even says Canal Road there. And so there, that makes a hell of a lot more sense, and now we got the right spot. And what did the first one... Let's go back to the... the one before. We can probably be more precise. Her body was found by a motorist who stopped on Canal Road. The motorist looked into the drainage canal that runs alongside the road and saw the woman's body floating face up. And she was wearing the same clothing. I don't know. What does it have to do with this case, Wise Old Tales? An autopsy will be performed. She might be. She might be found next to her house. Yeah. A lot of people, I mean, they keep thinking that she's right there in the area. I don't know, though. To be honest, it's hard to even predict. That was December 26th. How about this one? Woman who lived in Sky Village. Okay, it looks the same. Go to the 26, 27. There's one 27. Well, it looks like she was shot. An autopsy has revealed that a Palmetto woman missing for more than 2 months died of multiple gunshot wounds. Barbara Jean Robelen, 37, of Skyway Village Mobile Home Park, disappeared on the morning of October 23rd from the 7-Eleven store at US 41 and 49th. Manatee County Sheriff Detective Lieutenant Michael K. Claggs said the woman had been shot several times in the chest area. Detectives theorized the woman was taken from the store, shot, and dumped into a canal. Her body was found Christmas Eve. The site is about 3 miles from the store where the woman worked as a night clerk. Police say a customer entered the store at 3 a.m. the night of her disappearance and found the cash register open and nearly empty. About $100 was missing from the cash register. He said it is still a mystery as to why Robelen was killed after the store was robbed. I think it's kind of obvious. There were no signs of violence or struggle in the store. It cannot be determined if Robelen was sexually assaulted because of the advanced stage of decomposition, since she was found in the same clothing as when she disappeared. I don't believe there was sexual attack. Detectives are still working on the case. Like if she was found nude in there, you could assume that. Hey, thank you, Candalee Woodward Stone. Or Candon Edwards. Never mind. I thought it was Candalee Edwards Stone. Maybe you're the same one, though. Candon Edwards. We used to have a Candalee Edwards Stone, although it seemed so similar when I looked at it. Or maybe that is you, Candalee. Isn't that you? That's just your @ name. Yeah, I mean, what are the odds you'd have Candy Edwards and then somebody else named Candalee Edwards? Come on. It's got to be you. Why? What ad? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're referring to. It seems like every case you cover out of Florida has a canal involved. They're 2 different people? Oh, really? Wow. You know, there's somebody else in here named Candalee Edward Stone. Isn't that weird? Another channel member from the past who shows up sometimes. Don't you find that a little bit strange? But thank you. Appreciate it. But you've also been around a long time, too, so that's also interesting. Let's see. About $100 was missing. Let's see what this one says. Oh, she left her husband, Harry Robelen, and a foster son, Wayne Robelen. There will be no visitation. Well, yeah, because She was decomposed. Autopsy says clerk died of gunshot wounds. Yeah. All right. About the 28th. I think this is going to be one that there might be this one, and then there might not ever be any more again. This woman's body found. Yep. We already did that. And let's see if we type in January of 1979. Well, look at that. We did get some. Got one on January 1st. The case is still pending. Barbara Jean Robelen of Sky Village Mobile Park was found murdered. Oh, this is like a recap thing. January 4th. No breakthrough in murder probe. At first, authorities were uncertain if the woman had left the store on her own will or if she was abducted. After the body was found some 2 months later in a canal 3 miles from the store, detectives said she may have been the victim of robbery murder. She died of gunshot wounds. I wonder if they ever looked into her husband at the time. That's somebody she would know. We're working hot and heavy on the Barbara Robelen murder case right now, said Mike Cleggs of the Criminal Investigation Division. Robelen is the 37-year-old convenience store clerk whose body was found in a canal east of Palmetto. Robelen disappeared October 23rd. Another murder case which baffled authorities is the strangling death of 70-year-old Mary Kay Spangler, a former resident of Bay Shore condominiums. That might be an interesting one. I'd have to take a look at that one at some point. Oh yeah, what time zone you live in, Camden? And then look at that, there's nothing at all. And then October, there's something. Let's see what they brought up. But not all the missing persons reports are innocent. When 37-year-old Barbara Jean Robelen disappeared, 2 months later on Christmas Eve, she was found. Okay, now we're just going to do 1980 to 1990. 1990. Yeah, nothing. See that? Just dead after that. 1991 to 2024. Hey, look at that. Some in 1998, it popped back up for a second. Oh, Henry Lee Lucas. God, Jesus, look at that. Look at this. The ICE unit got a confession out of a serial killer, Henry Lee Lucas, in connection to the 1978 murder of Barbara Jean Robelen, who was none of this. Henry Lee Lucas is a fraud. Okay, I don't even know if he might have killed one person, but he confessed to like hundreds and hundreds of them. They used him as a clearinghouse, especially there in Texas. You know, near there. Lucas is on death row in Texas, so ICE investigators didn't officially charge him. Lucas has been convicted of 13 murders, and at one time said he was involved in 360. Yeah, bullshit. Okay. That guy just wasted so much time. And worse is that law enforcement used him to clear cases. They were like, hey, we got to get this one off our books. Hey, give Henry Lee a call, man. He'll confess to it. Who killed Barbara Jean Robelen? Was abducted. Cold case homicide investigated by the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Man, I wish they had a bit. Their angle should have been a lot different back then. I think they might have been able to solve it just by canvassing her entire apartment area and asking. It had to have been somebody who'd been in that store and interacted with her multiple times, and she might even know what his name is, because there'd be no reason, or he lives in the area and he can't just readily move because he might go in there again or see her walking around because he lives right there. That's really the whole point, is like he lives in that area near her and he doesn't want to move. So he just kills her, and he didn't want to be identified by her. That's really the whole thing. And if he was just sort of a rogue or a person driving through town, he wouldn't have needed to kill her. He'd just tie her up and drive away. But in this case, he lives there. He had to kill her, or he'd be identified. That's my opinion. I'm sticking with it. Well, I think that's going to do it, you guys. That was the cold case for the night. Another interesting one. Crazy. So, a short recap would be that Barbara Jean Robelen worked at this 7-Eleven right here. And then around 2:30 in the morning, they believe she was forced out of there. There was a homeless person that was sleeping in a Goodwill bin around that, had talked to her prior, and then around that time he said he didn't hear anything. And then there was $100 still in the cash register. Everything else was exactly where there was $100 removed from the cash register, and there was some dimes and nickels and whatnot in the cash register. And he forcibly removed Barbara from the store and then took her somewhere and likely, shot her in the chest here even. I would think it would have been kind of near where he dumped her body, and then he dumped her body right here in this canal. And she was found 2 months later. And probably because of the time of year, it's not like a lot of people walking around. I don't know, it is Florida, but it was in October and then found in December. So maybe the weather wasn't that great. Plus, a lot of people aren't walking here, and maybe you can't see directly into it. Like, let's see. It's pretty steep there. So even if you're walking there, it'd be really tough. He just happened to see it, the guy that was fixing his tire, because he was standing right there. And he could see right into it. That's like the only place. If you're standing there, maybe he was parked right there and he looked in, or it could have been on this side, and he could just see a body floating face up there. And they've never made an arrest in the case. It's too bad. I think they could have. I think the person probably lived right around in this area here, right in there, in my opinion. I used to love die antword, so I don't know what that is. I used to love die antword. I don't know what that is. Never heard of it. All right. Anyways, I'm going to get going here. So thank you guys for getting to the, we tried to raise $350 so I could donate $500. And we got about right at that number, and then we had that big gifted membership earlier by, what did they ever answer? Shinobi Business. Are you still there, Shinobi Business? I wasn't sure. Anyways, thank you so much for that one. And also I want to thank Lisa Valenzuela for her bucket of coffee, and Marty's buckets of coffee, Very cool. And that's good. Wait, hold on. What did somebody did send me a map? Yeah, I don't know why. I've already got all this. I've already explained it. I've already got the map of the house. I just wanted the interior map. Oh yeah, so somebody sent me this right here. What has anybody seen this thing? What does this mean? It says blue line, yellow markers, Annie map path to community allegedly. So apparently Annie put this out and said, hey, if you have any cameras on these roads, let us know. I mean, I don't know. Is that a real thing? Where is this coming from? Maybe we can take a look at it tomorrow or something. I'll make another folder for tomorrow. All right. All right. Here we go. We're going to spin for one notebook. We'll see what happened. All right, here we go. One notebook. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for your service, Marty. I think I've told you that before on other different shows. Or I'm a fan of military, law enforcement, etc. So here we go. Here's the spin. Who's going to win? Oh, Shinobi Business. Look at that. There you go, Shinobi Business. You got to send me your address. I'll send you a notebook, all right? Here's my email, Shinobi Business, right here. That's funny. I go, hey, you got it still here. I don't know how that happened. It's literally in more to Wild Bill Wassman. It's funny. I think it just missed out. Can you see that? Look at that. That little arrow is just almost looks like it's more into yours. All right. There we go. And yes, thanks for your service, Marty, and everybody else in here who served in the military. That's pretty funny, Shinobi Business. I just randomly was like, hey, you still here? All right. So up here we got, thanks to Cheryl Bullock. She's almost always first. Then Anne Marie. Then Wild Bill Wassman. Then Tucson Girl, who for some reason I thought I said it wrong and I thought it's Tuscan. But no, it does say Tucson. Alley Cake. Then Karen W. Timothy Cecil. Jim Lawn. Then we have Wild Bill Wassman. Alley Cake. Wild Bill Wassman again. Then Sherry C. Then Jim Lawn. then Karen W., then Wild Bill Wassman, then Enid Melendez, then Wild Bill Wassman, then Alley Cake. Wild Bill Wassman's always jumping in there when we have these long lulls. 5. Thank you. Miss Kyla. Then Karen W. Jim Lawn gifted 5. Gifted 5 there. He had a challenge going. Then we have Wild Bill Wassman. Then Alley Cake. Then Alley Cake again. Man, that must have been a long... Yeah, it was 807, 809, 812. Then Mary Magdalene. Wild Bill Wassman. K-Me. Wild Bill Wassman again. Then Alley Cake. Then Miss Kyla. Gifted 1. Then K-Me again. Then Carol Silva gifted 5. Then she gifted another one. I think those are reaching Marty's challenges. Then South Texas Guy gifted 1. Then Roger Smith gifted 1. Then Sarge Donald, USMC. Thank you for your service. And then we had Jim Lawn. Then Alley Cake. And then Miss Kyla gifted 1. Oh, wait. We got to do Sarge again. So Sarge, his joke was... A skeleton walked into a bar and ordered a beer and a mop. That was good, Jim. Come on. And then we had Jim Lawn. That was his challenge was somebody send in a super chat with a joke, and if I laugh, I'll match it. Well, that one worked. We should do those more often, Jim. That was pretty good. And then Alley Cake gifted 1, and Miss Kyla gifted 1. And then She Fell in Love gifted 5. That we were on a roll kind of around in this time frame. Then Wild Bill Wassman, Sandy Shirley, Miss Kyla, Tracy Von Brott, then Gina Burka. These are all, like, a lot of these are challenge meeting matches. Then Shinobi Business with 20. I mean, that was amazing. Then Kim Not Your Cup of Tea became a YouTube member. Then Wild Bill Wassman. Then Jim Lawn. And then Candon Edwards, not to be confused with Candalee Edwards Stone. Well, there you go. Thanks, everybody. Very cool. I'm not sure where I'm going to have to get a hold of them if they didn't send me a receipt. It might be tomorrow. Maybe they're kind of a smaller shop or something. You like that one. All right. Did you find the show at least mildly interesting? We had a bunch of different stuff. Got to listen to an interview. She gave me permission to do that too, by the way. He enjoyed some of it. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I love doing those cold cases. I think it's good to do them at the end. It makes me feel productive, you know. Like, here's something. I'm gonna put I gotta put that in the edit real quick here, down here. Put the name in there. So, cold case of Barbara Jean Robelen, 1978. And then maybe put it in the down here. Barbara Jean Robelen. It's E-N. There we go. All right. Well, I put it in the description now. If you guys could please go and comment underneath the show when we're done, even if it's just, "Hey, man, that was freaking great." Hey, thanks, Amy. You know, I know. And by the way, you guys, I'm totally aware that I spend time trying to bring in the income to the channel. You know, it's not fun having to do it, but it's just feels like that's the only way that it happens when we're trying to do certain things. We've already given out $1,500 this month. It's not the greatest month in the world so far, so I'm trying to get something done earlier in the month regardless. You know, so we've already got $1,500. You know, if I can do another $1,500 or more at the end of the month, that'd be great. But I'm probably going to wait till the end of the month now, unless there's some pending something coming up. I've actually wanted to donate to, was it like St. Jude's? Every time I see those commercials, I'm just like, oh man. Isn't that the one that, like, they cover the cost for parents who can't afford it for their kids? Maybe we should throw something in there every once in a while. What do you guys think? At the end of the month. Cold case every night, and we'd have over 350 a year. Not sure what that means. Oh, 350 cold cases. Yeah. I would have loved to see. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. Who the hell knows what tomorrow will bring? Yep, I'm still sitting here. Here, maybe we look at the dogs for a moment. What are they doing? Looks like are they awake? I can't tell if that's a frozen shot. I mean, they're just, oh, there it is. Wow, that was live. One wiggled. Yeah, man. They were so still. That was crazy. All right. Anyways, thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Yeah, I've been doing this
thanks again, Marty,
for quite a while now.
And Lisa.
And during this whole time, I have not seen one person.
Wild Bill and Jim and everybody else who's supporting the channel. Crime business. Thank you.
Like rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya
On a stretcher, if you try and play me like a little projector.
Crime sector is my nectar.
Professor Grant is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector. And I'm always gonna be a public actor.
Cool deflector.
Interceptor. And I mean a little specter with a vector.
On his specter, with all respect, y'all.
Just remember,
I have a typical fucking check.
I have no agenda. I'm not a pretender.
And I'll send it
to your screen whenever we know.
And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
Thank you for watching Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube, where we cover true crime using logic, reason, and common sense, which isn't common anymore. Thank you very much for watching, and as I always say, until next time, Jessica Schubach, be safe out there. right, see you guys. Good night, everybody. Love all of you. Be safe.